Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Monday. We're early again, but only for this week. Next week we'll be back to regular time. And it's Roller Wiener Monday, which of course is better than anything else. You can't get that just anywhere. So get your wieners ready for the show. So today, JB Hunt, they got a high mileage driver. That's right, and they gave him a reward. The Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse had problems. Yikes. I got some rates. Matt's is coming up. AB5's got problems. Whatever is going on with you. What is happening for everybody out there? Let's see if I can. For new people, I do a lot of clicking and a lot of messing around here. So let's see what I can get going here. All right. And there's that. So I had Nomad Trucker being first today on my screen. So that was nice. For that, let's see here. That was first on my screen today. All right, so let's see what I'm doing. Yikes, messed up. It's so early. I don't even know what's going on. It's not even afternoon yet. So, wow, Bill, hello there. Thank you for being here today. Yes, it's not even afternoon here. What is happening? So, they've messed me up on a few things. Misty, good morning. Luca, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello there. So, Trucker Hershey is here. It's good to see you today. And Trucker Beetle Bailey, normally I am at 1 p.m., and that will be back next week at 1 p.m. I should be back on time. Daycab Gear Jammer. My company messed me up here a little bit by changing my route around slightly, and I really had no choice but to do this one. So, Christina, good morning. Kay Wayne is here. All right, Ryan O'Ryan, what's happening? I got some good rates for you. Rates are doing good, it looks like, as usual. King Bob, hello. Yes, you're not late. That is good. But you have to come in early to make up for the late time. So there's that. Michael Cole sat in Bloomington. All right, headed to Lansing. What snow? What the heck snow is going on? Maybe up there. Nothing is happening here. It's like springtime. I'm in a bathing suit today. That's pretty good. Get those vehicle get those vehicle calls too. That's pretty good. Chrome Daddy, hello there. What's happening? All right, so here we go. Here, Alexandra. What the heck is a third-party load? All right, so what's that? Cash's Cake Trucking. You made it on time. It's good to see you. Yes. I see you did a company review. That was pretty good. I'm catching up with my videos. Ivan, good morning from Groveland, Florida. All right, headed back to Wisconsin. Whoa, bring some cheese curds. I always say that. Nobody brings them. Dave Johnson from Buffalo, New York. Yeah, you're having problems up there. Enjoy the weather. It's 40 degrees here today. James Faust, good morning to you. The Rooster, it's going great out here. Gamer, love it. Right. Ralph, good afternoon for there. Almost here. Right, almost. Jim Trucker, it's Roller Wiener Monday. Hey, breakfast, lunch, dinner, it doesn't matter when they are. They're always delicious. Michael Muller, good morning. All right, so Ricky, it's good to see you. Slayer, it's Monday. What's happening? So CJ Hudson, update on the Virginia GPS law. Nothing yet is going on with that. Of course, it's working its way through. OIDA came out against it as well, which is nice. So we'll see what they do with it. These kind of local things where it's just one state or whatever, sometimes they do enact this kind of, stupid stuff because some congressman has got some kind of pull and he goes, hey, you vote for this, I'll do this for you, even though there's no quid pro quo allowed, we know, but they do it anyway. Tom, hello there. Corey, it's your friendly tow truck driver, all right, from San Antonio. I forget it, and I shouldn't. Well, how can you ever forget San Antonio? Good morning, GP Transco. It's good to see you here today. Eric, ABCD, hello there. Go to Wisconsin, Michael Muller on Saturday and got caught in the snow. Did it snow that far up? Oh, that's right. I was watching it. What am I thinking about? Watching on the weather. We were getting close. The line kept coming down. Nothing. Slowed to 45. Got passed by a tour bus. Yeah, well, they got their... That's the thing of tour buses. They got a time. Everybody on there's paid their $17 to go to the casinos or whatever, especially up in Wisconsin, and they don't care. Ironically, I just saw an ad for Greyhound this weekend. So if anybody needs a job driving for Greyhound, they're running ads right now. Happy Roller Wiener Tide Pod Day. That's pretty good. It must be Millennial Day today. Alf, vacation day in Tennessee. Colonel Sanders. Haven't been giving out my coleslaw recipe. No way. I don't know what it is, and I wouldn't give it to anybody. Holy mackerel. It's the most delicious coleslaw. You can't get it any better than that. Good morning from Joplin to a true super trucker. How much government money goes in a new terminal? That is interesting. Usually places do get government grants for that. Who knows? I wouldn't build in Illinois just from the taxes. Alexander, I caught a pic of the teal truck in Iowa at the GP Transco. Yes, another astute, which I should have put up here, right? He said put it up and didn't, so if you're on here, I apologize. An astute viewer sent me a picture of a teal GP Transco truck. I should have grabbed it and didn't, so I'll have that up for next week. There actually is, somebody actually saw another one, so headed to Chicago, then headed to the dirty east. Yikes. Can we get out of that, Jonathan? We need to get to a company that says, hey, no forced New York City, right? Truck and pop-up, new time slot. Just for last week and this week, change of the company. The run I was doing actually ended, and they didn't have anything for me to do for 4 days, which I got to sit at home and get paid, which is pretty nice. You get $200 on a day if you don't work. So I sat at home, got $800, but then as soon as there's a run that comes up, you have to go do it or they stop paying you. That's the story here. So I ended up having to go on a run that's a lot earlier because I didn't really have any choice, so they wouldn't pay me. So did sit at home for 4 days getting paid, unlike England drivers. But either way, I had to take it. But that's going to end here, and by next week, I'll be back on the correct schedule. Right. Michael Muller, you saved another Trans Am. What? Coleslaw, Cash King. Look. KFC, the best coleslaw going. You can't beat it anywhere, even at the Coleslaw Hut or coleslaw.com. Nobody's got it any better than that. Misty drove for Greyhound 20 years ago. Don't do it. Why do you not say that? You know, I knew a guy that drove for Greyhound, and he said, which is kind of funny, he said if people in the back would start to get loud or whatever, he would just turn the heat up a little bit, and everybody would go to sleep, which I think is kind of funny. Did you find that to be true at Greyhound? What was the pay like, too? I don't think it pays that much, but I don't know. And how often is a Greyhound driver home? That's a pretty good question, too. So what's the story with Greyhound? Are tornadoes included on Roller Wiener Monday? Yes. Any rolled meat product counts? I was on the way to the gym, and I remembered I'm early. I had to turn around and catch a show. Well, I appreciate that. Don't neglect yourself over me. Believe me, you could just listen in the gym on the headsets or whatever, right? Because there's no judgment there. And there are no teal-colored trucks. That's a wives' tale. I haven't seen one. They only go the Illinois-Indiana border west. I think that's the story. I had a Celadon truck and trailer pass you on I-75 North. You were going. He passed you like you're standing still. Really? I didn't. Where'd you see this? Okay, on I-75 North. Could it have been headed up and going to take a left to go to Indianapolis? Because supposedly the end of this month is the auction. They're going to start auctioning this stuff off. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they turned it off. Maybe they went to the diesel doctor and they're like, this is my truck. I'm selling it on now. Right. All right. Kane Slayer, where do you work? Right. Okay. So I don't ever get that question. I don't know why I look at the time. I still looked at the time. I don't ever tell people where I work for new people or people that are not used to this time of day for me. And that keeps the companies out of my videos. There's so many people on YouTube that make more money from recruiting. Did you know that? There's a lot of drivers that make more money from recruiting than they make from their very own videos. So, which is not that hard to do. So if you get $1,000 recruiting, get 10 people, it's $10,000. I don't do that. I let them recruit for themselves. It also keeps them out of my videos, so they don't have any say in my videos. They can go recruit for themselves. That's how I work it here. Alexander, we agree bacon and Spam is the best. Oh, my gosh. That would be, if they could make a bacon and Spam roller wiener. I mean, somebody needs to work on that. We're scientists for this. They're all busy curing cancer and stuff. Let's get them on something like this. Precision Logistics, hello there. Hey, Corey, what's up? Sitting at a dock in Massachusetts. That sounds horrible, to be honest with you. Eric, Arby's has the meats, but the Loves has the roller meats. If Arby's could figure out a roller roast beef, they sell everything else. They have like 700 menu items. If they could just add that to their menu, I mean, that'd be even better. I can't eat there because you have to take a loan out to go eat at Arby's now. Oh, Michael Muller, man, I saved another Trans Am driver yesterday at the Gary in Pilot from 35 cents a mile. Oh, I see, 2,200 miles a week, asking if he wants to run for Smith. Did he take you up on it? I hope. Is somebody still offering 35 cents a mile to get started? Wow. That's incredible. I told you before they route them away from you, they must chat. I haul out of the oil fields, gas wells. Holidays are always double time. Oh, then it's worth working it, I guess. You can take the time off at some other time. 2 days of pay in 1 day. It's not bad. It sounds like almost a union job, right? Misty, pay is like England. A boatload of unpaid time. Work is feast or famine. Really? I wonder what kind of unpaid time you get at Greyhound. So does it work just like trucking? This is how I get the impression, and I don't know. You could tell me. So you get in your Greyhound truck, bus, you throw your bag. I think the driver gets their own bag spot, and you drive it somewhere to another terminal, and then you either come back and go home, or do they put you in a motel at that point? Or do you just kind of have to sit and take another random route? How does that exactly work there? Skylar, Celadon was going eastbound on 84 in Oregon. Saw them on my way back from Montana. Really? Wow. Oh, wow, Bill, that's a good policy. I appreciate that. That was just your experience at Greyhound? Yeah, how does that work? How do they make money? Is it mileage-based too there? Is Greyhound paid by the mile to their drivers? White Castle roller wiener? Boy, wouldn't that be something? What could be better than that? They can roll that sack of fries in there? Are there any decent relay companies? What do you mean by a relay company? Spam, you make your own. You don't have to make your own. They make it for you. They put it in a can. They put a key on the bottom of the can so you can open it. Got a ton of Arby's coupons in the mail. We'll be taking my 30 there. All right. You need coupons. You can't afford the place. You're sitting in a Walmart parking lot after delivering your load. Watch out for tow trucks. Watch out for people booting your truck. Be sure not to get booted or anything. Yikes. I was offered Alexander was offered 33 cents a mile when you started at USX 2 years ago. Wow. I mean, you've way improved yourself since then. I guess you got to start somewhere, but that's really low. That is really low. White Castle has Sloppy Joes? Really? I wonder if they have them here. Maybe that's locally. You have more of them up there. England is 25 cents last I heard. I cannot imagine somebody's a quarter. The lowest I've seen is Western at 27 cents for Western 10 states. That's really the lowest I've seen. With minimum wage going up, does that affect truckers? No. Truck driving is exempt from minimum wage. Isn't that convenient? The Fair Labor Standards Act from the 1930s exempts transportation. So the minimum wage can go up all at once, and we still get bupkis. Driving and listening, Misty, got to be safe. Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so we can get back with that other stuff otherwise, right? Just picked up a load of aluminum nitrate. All right, to jump on I-75. What is, that sounds explosive or whatever. What do you do with it? I mean, I always like to find out when I'm picking something up that I don't know. I ask people, what exactly happens with this stuff anyways? And Alexandra was malarkey. I can't believe, somebody's still that low at this time of, it's 2020 now. So in the 2018, we're getting 30-some cents. Fried Spam and bacon sandwich, yes. Send my idea to McDonald's. Nothing better to do or at the dock. Exactly. They might as well get something done. So Greyhound has its own dorms. Oh, so it's on the old Celadon program. That would save them money, I guess. So at the terminal, would you sleep at the terminal? That'd be great, sleeping at the bus terminal. Anyone want Tide-flavored roller wieners? That would be millennials only, much like England. So it's backed by the SBA, right? Small Business Administration. That's good. Any place that's expanding, I'm for, right? Because more jobs, more money. He jumped. He thought I was an owner-operator, but yeah, with that truck, right. But I told him that my Pete is a company truck and got frisky and asked for the number. But remember, don't leave a company just because of the truck. I see a lot of people doing that. It's great to have a nice truck, and I will tell you, you do have a nice-looking truck. But certainly, I don't think even you would think that's just the reason to leave a place. Maybe. No void I-75 North. Have a skillet in the truck. Wife, make sure you have bacon. Sweet. Got a drive listing. You're out. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that information. That's pretty good. I didn't know that. I just came back to trucking after 5 years. Retired from KBR. All right. What are you doing? Where are you at? You over the road? What kind of thing did you find since you were you retired 5 years, retired from KBR? What are you finding to do? How's it going? Because I get a lot of these kind of questions. Hey, I've been out for X amount of time. Can I get a job? Are you finding that there's work available? Alexander, you got bumped to 50 cents last week. You're a happy camper. That's a huge raise in 2 years to go from 33 cents to 50 also. That's a gigantic pay raise too. Now we can make some money. Tyler, good morning. Sitting in Indy at a battery recycling place waiting to get unloaded. Well, you're right down the street. I'll see you in a few hours. I'll be going right by there. England is trash, all right? Let's talk about she can't answer right. She won't answer, so now we can talk about her. Can you give us an update on any more trucking bankruptcies? I wrote this trucking company down, as a matter of fact. Well, New York Express is closing. You probably didn't hear of it. I never have. They only have 107 workers. It didn't break down the number of drivers. So as you can imagine, they're in the East Coast. So it's got to be less than that. They did file a WARN Act, and they'll be closing at the end of March. So they gave everybody 60 days notice. And here's another small company closing, and they lost one account, it said. They lost a DHL account that they had, and so they're closing the whole place. You know, this is what I always think is the problem with a small company. You may get treated better there where the boss knows your name if that's important to you, but that's not important to me. And of all these trucking closures of last year, almost exclusively they're small companies. With the Celadon makes the news, but then places like New York Express, which was just here in their closing, they hardly have any drivers. That's not going to make the national news, really. It's a real problem. It's a real problem at a smaller place. I go at least a little bit bigger because, look, this place loses one contract and they close. That's a problem. Michael Cole, Carolina Cargo offered 10 cents a mile to team, 20 cents split. Well, wow. That's hard. Look, I'm not saying you're lying about it, but I just cannot imagine a company. So a team, you get 5,000 miles, you're splitting $1,000. I mean, come on. Who would do that? 6,000 miles is hardly any money. John Schneider, I took a job for 23% hauling chicken to California and produce back. That depends on what the rates are, right? Which I got some rate information here. Any more on the Walmart lawsuit? No, Walmart is going to appeal that case, and so we'll see where that goes. They refuse to pay it, and they're going to appeal it. Their multi-million-dollar judgment that has been upheld, they're going to continue their lawsuit in federal court. They're going to continue appealing it and try not to pay people. Did you make a good choice? I don't know. I don't know what the rates are there. I'm not a fan of percentage, but that's just me personally. A lot of people like it, do really good on it. I never liked it because I don't know what I'm going to make. So it depends what the rate is on chicken. Where's some owner-operators that haul chickens? What's a good produce rate right now? Glad I left England when I did, King Bob. Thank you, GP Transco. I'm glad you got out of there, too, and I hope everybody can. How's it going? Do you have a teal truck? I don't remember if I asked you that over at GP Transco. Last night I've been in England, an England driver that was a trainer that's only been driving 6 months. That back up, Jim Trucker. Yes, they don't require really any experience, and there's no law, honestly, that says they can't make you a trainer as soon as you get your license. So they're not doing anything illegal. I don't approve of it, of course. You should certainly have some experience to be a trainer. You don't want to go through the first winter with your trainer at the same time he's going through his first winter. So I don't think that's a great plan. But hey, I'm not Sierra England. I'm willing to invest some moolah on the R&D of the spam roller arena. Yeah, let's make this happen. Alexander, you're a millennial. Right. Okay, not every millennial eats Tide Pods. All right, but that's certainly where it got started. It seems that the older people they were less likely to eat laundry detergent for a lunch snack. So I'll give you that. Not every millennial. It is a younger person kind of thing. It's probably not a great idea to do that. What about Megabus? They're popping up everywhere. Yeah, for $1 you can ride a bus or something. And what do? They stuff double the amount of people in the bus. They're what's called a curbside bus company. They don't even have terminals. So they pick you up at a location and take you somewhere. A fried BB Wiener? I just found out at Pam that dedicated routes are exempt from annual pay raises. Redneck investor. Oh, you're exempt because you have a dedicated route. So they're saying, which is kind of what I do, right? Like I don't make as much as probably most of you on here do a week because I have a regular route. And so, but for that, I get the benefit of having a regular route. So you got to decide, is that worth not getting a raise to know what you're going to make every week? I think it's an interesting way to do it. Of course, they should get a raise, and we get a raise in April or whatever coming up here. But I think they should give you a raise. You got to decide, is that worth it? You know what you'll make every week. Now, does Pam do dedicated the same way other places do? Dedicated to me means you do the same thing either every day or every week or whatever, but at the same thing. Some places say, oh, you're dedicated east of the Mississippi River. I don't consider that dedicated, really. Ryan, you saw GP truck last week. What do you think about hauling chickens? What's the percent? Is that a good deal on that? Michael Miller, I told him to pay and he wants local, so I told him about Walmart account since he lives in Philly. That'd be a perfect job for him out there. Way better than what he's doing. U.S. depressed stock is 546. What was it last week? I haven't looked it up lately. Imperial Sync, hey, sorry you're late. It's good to see you today. Oh, right. This is what I wanted to see. GP Transco. We announced the optional driver-facing camera to our drivers and to the public. I saw an ad for it or whatever. It was a write-up. 20% of the drivers are on board and 80% of new drivers. So you're very close to what it was going to be. And I think overall, I got it at about 2/3. So that's really interesting that people that are already there are not taking it. So I thought more drivers that were there would take it. And you thought less drivers of coming in. So that's pretty good. What do you think? You think that is going to help the company and help the drivers? I'm one of the people that would not take it. Would not take it. But I thought more people in there would take it, just on the Aldi theory that I've seen old ladies drag shopping carts across parking lots to get their quarter out of it. So I thought for a couple of $1,000, it's pretty easy to get people to do stuff. Carolina Cargo pays peanuts at 10 cents. That would be incredible. Sam A. Mark and everyone, you're in a 34-hour reset. Where's that happening today? Nick, can you please expand about how unsafe the on-guard CMS on Freightliner is? Yes, the collision mitigation system, which is what CMS means on Freightliners, which mine has that as well. My Cascadia has it, which I have an 18, is horrible. It goes off regularly on overpasses, road signs. It doesn't work in the rain, which is good. If it rains heavy, I'm sure many of you see this, it turns it off. Snow covers it, ice, that kind of thing. It's horrible, right? It applies the brakes randomly when it sees a hill or a road sign or whatever because it thinks you're going to get into an accident, so it tries to mitigate the accident. There's no way the truck should ever interact with the brakes. If it gives you a warning, I wouldn't mind a warning. The wife's car has all these warning things, no problem, right? But it doesn't interact with the car in any way. You decide what to do still. This stuff isn't anywhere near, prime time, as they say. It should be banned. The whole system, because it interacts with the brakes, it should be banned. If it wants to light up a thing in the dashboard, that's fine, and let you decide. But no way should this thing interact with any kind of accidents or the brakes or anything else. No way. I hate it. I think it's unsafe, and it should be taken to the sun and melted. You're surprised England can keep drivers with that pay. Well, the thing is, King Bob, as you know, a lot of people start at England and don't have any knowledge of the industry at all. And what happens is many people come from either being laid off or getting a job that really doesn't pay well, $10 an hour. So they're making $400 and they go there, maybe they make $500 or $600. If you went from $400 to $600, that's a big pay raise. So relative to what you were making, they're working on the Einstein theory of pay relativity. That seems more, but to an outside observer, it's actually less. So that's the thing about it. The pay there, it's all relative. They're just using Einstein against people. It isn't right. And I don't think Einstein would approve of it. Anthony Garcia relays leaving a hub and driving to spotting his switch loads with another driver and head back to your hub, home every day. Yeah, like a line, what you're talking about would be a line haul driver, like at R&L or Old Dominion, which we talk about a lot on here, that kind of thing. Absolutely. I mean, that's basically what I do as well. I do a drop and hook. I don't relay with a driver. But that's the same kind of thing. Absolutely. It's great. I love it. You got to not mind doing the same thing all the time, but you'll get home every day, drive somewhere, come back. Absolutely. That's a great way to run a local job. Usually the daytime drivers go make a bunch of pickups, and the nighttime people are line haul, usually. Ryan M. is playing in the snow north of Ogden, Utah. Caldwell, Idaho. What do they need in Idaho? George Costanza's here. If you as a corporation give in to everyone who sues you, you'll be bankrupt from the leeches that will keep suing you. That's true. But this is if this is back to the Walmart thing, not that there's anything wrong with it. Walmart violated the law in California, so the people suing them said. And the courts have agreed with the drivers on this. California has more specific laws on what needs to be paid than other states. So anything you do in California, you have to get paid for if you're an employee. And like a pre-trip, like your break, a mandated break where you can't do things on your own. If a company says you can take a lunch and like at a warehouse, you can go to McDonald's or wherever you want to go or Arby's, then they don't have to pay you. But when they're saying, okay, you take a break, you have to stay with the truck, then you have to be paid in California. They're smart about that. That's how it should be. While you're at work, you should be paid, I think. And so Walmart is fighting that, and the courts are agreeing with the drivers because of the law. King Bob does have a teal truck. Nice. So they do exist. Blood in the water. It's why you fight every lawsuit you see is a frivolous, scorched earth. That's true, George Costanza. And eventually, you were right. And people are like, well, we better not sue because they'll fight us to the death on it. So there is that side of it as well. But on this one, they're totally wrong. Because people should be paid for their time. I walked in one day and had a job the next. Seemed pretty easy after 5 years. All right. I'm surprised because, well, what are you doing? Let's ask that, John Schneider. What are you doing? Are you local? Are you over the road? Where did you don't have to name your company if you don't want to, but what kind of job did you get where you were able to walk in after 5 years of not driving and get a job? We just had a driver named Paul McCartney apply to us. Really? Oh my gosh. You have got to get a guitar or a piano or some kind of sticker and stick it on that person's truck if you end up hiring him. That's pretty good. Alexandra, speaking of winter, I was told to push through on this load, and now I'm sitting. Gotta love driving in a snowstorm. Be sure to get there so that you can sit. I love it. Are you trying to tell me eating detergent is a bad idea? I will say that the name brands are better. They're more flavorful. I think once you get an off-brand, a generic, I just don't think they have the flavor to it that Tide does. I don't think they just don't have the experience. Let's get a GoFundMe for the spam roller wiener. I'll tell you, there's a GoFundMe for everything. There's probably somebody who already has one. Where can I find the best 1099 jobs? Not here, certainly, because as an employee, you should be an employee. So I never recommend people get a 1099. Why do you want to scam yourself out of a bunch of benefits? Don't knock it until you tried those Tide Pods. See, but that's a name brand, so those are good. The colors are vibrant. They're very flavorful. The smell is delicious. Right. Why are you have GP Transco? Why are you having folks who are famous driving their high maintenance? You would, I guess maybe Paul's fallen on hard times. Poor guy. Ate one of those Tide Pods for a detoxing. Oh, that's good. Then you use some of those little things that little pellet things that you pour in the washing machine, right? Those things, right? Pam is a bottom feeding company. They should pay everybody a raise, certainly. Redneck Investor, same run every week, 2,680 paid miles. That's pretty good. Big Nate, what do you think about H.O. Wolding? I don't know. What do people here think about H.O. Wolding? Hope I feel better. You sound great. Hi, Gracie. Oh, thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. I do finally feel better. That took like 10 days to get over that. Remind me not to get a shot, a flu shot, and I'm certainly not going to recommend them to people, certainly. Gracie appreciates you thinking of her. There she's awake. She's not normally awake. She's certainly sleeping now in her cat bed right behind me here. She listens to the show, but then, that only lasts a few minutes. You know how that goes. My wife has just 6 months experience, Walford. That's pretty good. She could be a trainer at England, but what are you saying about that? Drive cams. All right, I'm not a fan of them. Don't like them. I'm not a fan. I wouldn't take the 2 cents. But I think, look, I will say this. Since they're voluntary, I don't mind them. And I think the 2 cents is pretty good. I haven't found anybody else paying any money for the camera. Maybe this could start a trend. At least if people are going to have a camera, they should get paid for it. We drive team to a company you recommend. Wife has 6 months. All right, who's got a good team? I know there's a Red Monkey Trucking does pretty good at PTL. GP Transco runs teams, but I don't think your wife has enough experience. Here's GP Transco. Here we think driver-facing cameras will help, mostly because they track distracted driving. I agree. Let's give a driver a call when he or she's been staring at their iPhone for some time. Yes, they shouldn't be staring at their phone. I agree with you on all that. And I do think it changes you because we have trucks with cameras in them, and you are more aware of what you're doing. Okay? You're way more, you're like, oh, but then the other side of it, GP Transco, from a driver perspective is you're always thinking you have to drive for the camera. That's what I have found in the trucks that we have with cameras in them when I ever get one of those. I think, man, I've got to drive in a way that's not going to set off the camera. And it may not be the safest thing to do at that time. The camera forces me to drive in a way that may or may not be safe because I think, oh, if I'm doing something or whatever, I have to do this maneuver, the camera's going to go off, and then who's going to talk to me? Somebody that doesn't know anything about driving. Somebody that doesn't see decades of safe driving, they see 12 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever and go, oh, you know what you did wrong here? And I'm like, to them, you know what you did wrong, which is come and talk to me about my driving. So from my perspective of it, I don't like them like that because it changes the way you drive and not always in a good way. No one ever thinks about that side of it. You're driving for the camera. You're not driving for safety. You're not doing what's best at the moment to be safe right then. You're thinking, oh, this camera, I could get fired in any second. It's just demeaning. I find it to be demeaning, and, you know, it's like puts you down like, oh, we don't trust you. We know you have experience, but we don't trust you. So we're going to have somebody in the back office watch a few seconds of your driving and yell at you about it. I don't like them. I just don't like them. Nomad Trucker's dedicated to making money. That's the way to do it. But you can't make the job's not worth it, I don't think, if you don't like your job. If you hate going to work every day, forget it. Quit that job. Go work somewhere else. Oh, my gosh, not working. Alexandra, your CMS doesn't work? Good. Don't ever tell them it doesn't work. I'll tell you that. GP, so no watching, Mark. No, you can just listen to it through Bluetooth. That would be better, right? Unfortunately, even experienced drivers have a tendency to be distracted driving. That's true. Doesn't capture sound. Yours would be the first one that I've ever seen that doesn't capture sound. I will say that. And activates only during harsh event. Yeah, right. But the other side is the driver has to drive for the camera rather than driving safely. Everybody gets distracted. Yeah, I agree. But there's that moment when you need to go around something or whatever, and you're worried that the camera. And if you have to even think on some instances for a split second about that camera that's in your mind, you might have an accident where you wouldn't have otherwise. And I don't like the fact that, oh yeah, here you have experience, but we don't trust you to not be distracted, make the right choices. A lengthy history of safety should preempt the need for a camera. That's what it should do. I would not take the 2 cents to have a camera watching you. I agree, Mr. James Faust. That is the way to do it. Driver-facing cameras are a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Unfortunately, in the United States, they were litigated out and allowed. Canada said no to them, but unfortunately here, they said yes to them. That's disappointing. Is the CMS standard on all Freightliners? I think so. I don't think you can buy one without it. I think it comes with it. I'd have to go spec one out on the Freightliner site, but I think it's standard on them now. Alexander, yeah, America, exactly. I wish. No clue about chickens. You've all cattle, but that's a whole different beast. Literally. Oh, literally. Because all the Freightliners are built for Sierra England drivers who don't know they do. Yeah. Factory option. Okay. Well, you can get a stick in them still, so maybe you don't have to have it. I looked at a newer truck and it had a guard on it. Asked if I could be removed. The dealer said they can't until the warranty is up. Oh, yeah, forget it. It had on guard. Yeah, well, tell them forget it. I guess, if you're owning the truck, though, you could cover the sensor, and it wouldn't work. We only hire highly experienced drivers, and almost all of them drive Freightliners. That's true. Only the ones that I see driving Volvos. I made $80,000 with Walmart. That's pretty good. I mean, that's $80,000 is good, but the policies there are what prevent me from working there. And because they pay good or whatever doesn't mean they're paying, properly or whatever. And I don't like their cell phone policy. I just don't. Plus, let's see, was that Mark? I'm not sleeping a sleeper truck. I don't care if you put a 1 in front of that. I'm not doing it. Because I think liking your job is more important than money. You can make money anywhere, but I'm not going to go to a job that I hate every day, and I'm not slip seating a truck that I sleep in with anybody if I have to sleep in the truck. Will GP Transco pay $10.99? GP Transco is differently, let's put it that way, than most Chicago companies, an actual company that has employees. So you are an employee at GP Transco. The people that are there, and I'll answer this if I'm wrong, right, that get $10.99 are owner-operators. Hauling a load of fender parts to Big Tex trailer. Oh, all right, that's great. You'd rather drive a Mack Alexandra anyway. They probably have this kind of goofy stuff. They're going to get ready to lay off some people if you saw that. But this Freightliner thing, it's the worst, which I'm sure you agree with now that it doesn't work. Now, does your cruise still work? Because on my truck, when it stops working, you can press the cruise button a couple of times and the cruise will still work, which is nice. King Bob, you went from $500 a week to $800 a week, but after taxes, it's basically went back down to $500. Now you're making 1,000 and bringing home 800, which is better. A raise is better and a better place to work too, certainly. Just real go on I-40. We do not pay 1099. We're all W-2. I was good on that. You can expect to make 78 to 88,000 and get health insurance, right? Like a regular employee, unlike almost every place in Chicago area. Paul McCartney, he can drive my car. Oh, sweet. See, I was never a big fan of the Beatles, so or Wings and all that. That wasn't my kind of thing. So I was not on top of that one. I should have been. I apologize. Mark, is it against the law for a company to remove a PC and mandate from their hours of service applications so you can't PC? No, my company, Nick, does not allow PC in their company trucks. So no, and the PC and the limits on it can be set by a company. The DOT is actually, a number of people have written to them, and they actually have written a response to it, a guidance on it. PC is company specific. They can say you can use it, or they can say you can use it for 100 miles or up to an hour a day, or like where I work and other places, they can say we don't allow you to use a truck for your own use at all. As long as it's their truck, they can do it. Yep. He was driving one for Swift yesterday. Nice. John Schneider, 8-truck, small company. Wow. Out of Arkansas, really nice boss. Hauling Tyson chicken, not 1099, so regular job. Fast-paced to California is back on heart of the drivers. Okay, so you found a really small place that doesn't care that you haven't been driving for a few years. That's great. You're you know the boss. That's what I've recommended to some people that really can't get a place. Go find a really, really small place, especially if you have background problems or just issues where you can't get hired at a place. Go find a really small company in your area that's got a few trucks and go talk to the owner. Go in there and just talk to him and just lay the case out for him. That might be a way to get in. Gustavo, doctors are just like salesmen. It would seem so. Yeah, for their own benefit. If you wear it, make it a parrot as always. That's the way to do it. Make it a parrot, and that I should have put this up here before, of course. Here's some information for people that would like to contact GP Transco right there. And there's a teal truck that I have yet to see in person, although these could be photoshopped. I'm not sure. They could be reversed where the truck's white and the G is teal. I don't know. People tell me they have them. They have nice trucks. Go over there. Just look, talk to them. They'll answer your questions. Back to Blue Parrot because I'm clicking, and there's another click. All right, back to me. Are you saying Gracie used the show as an effort to sleep? Wild Bill, I don't think she needs a reason or effort to sleep. I think the show puts her to sleep, which is not unusual for her. Certainly. I wouldn't mind for all student training trucks to have the driver-facing cameras. I think it's not a bad idea for the trainer to do it, just to protect themselves from accusations and from the student. For the student as well to protect themselves from accusations. Now, I don't know about in the sleeper, but, that's where things could happen too. So I don't know how you'd want to do that because you're in the truck with somebody you don't know. Does this happen all the time? No. Most trainers are probably great. But if you get a few of them, you could have a problem. It would protect everybody from everything that happened in there. But when you're in there by yourself, I guess you could violate yourself, but I don't know if anybody wants to have a video of that. What is your opinion on company leasing? But I don't know where I'm going with this. What's the best company to lease from? I'm not a huge fan of leasing a truck from the company. The only way I would lease a truck or recommend it would be for somebody to lease the truck from a leasing company outside, away from the carrier. Like if you went and got it from, Kenworth or whatever, Freightliner, and lease it yourself and put it on. You want to have control of that asset. Don't let the same people that write your check also be the ones you write a check to for the lease of the truck. That's not a great idea. Michael Cole, I found listening to my audiobooks better for me than listening to music, especially at night. Yeah, and like I said, I'm a big podcast fan, so that's what I listen to a lot of. Absolutely. Don't lease from the company you drive for, lease via a bank or the dealership. Absolutely. Don't lease from the company you are running for. If something happens, they close, you lose your truck. The camera only changes you if you're afraid of it. I don't care if it's on or not. I put on a show daily. You put on a show, but you're in a limited area. I mean, what I'm saying is, look, I find that it does change you when you're driving. Maybe for the better some, but maybe not. Because you have to think, okay, well, So the distance thing goes off, but the car's going to turn. Well, do I still have to slow down or should I not slow down? They're almost turned, but they're not turned, and it doesn't always follow also. So like in mine, the thing where it says, oh, you're getting too close, they can be in the lane next to you. It'll follow the car into that next lane. This is part of the collision mitigation, is all linked in with that camera. And so they're in that lane, and then the camera goes off. And so then they're like, well, what are you doing? And you have to go in and explain, the car's not in this lane, stupid. The car's over there. So I don't have to slow down. They're not even in my lane. And then they're like, well, they could come back across traffic. Well, I guess a blimp could crash in front of me too that I didn't even see. I mean, stuff happens. So I shouldn't have to explain myself to somebody who watches 15 seconds of a video when I have a record of being safe. That's why they hire me, and presumably that's why they keep me. So say, look, you're safe, you're fine. That's what they should do. At the most, they use it for 30 days to make sure you're safe, but I still probably wouldn't work there. GP Transco, good point. For that reason, we have safety managers that are actually very experienced and guys at the office who used to be drivers who review everything. I do know that GP Transco, unlike a lot of companies, many people there are CDL licensed drivers. They are drivers, and many of them have decades of experience of driving. I agree. I still think that they're only watching a small part of the day versus the whole day. And I see that you probably have a less problem with that than other places, because a driver's going to be like, okay, I understand this, unlike most places where they have just somebody in the back who's just had a Tide Pod and then they have to go review it. I'm not a fan of it. You made a good point about the mobile eye phenomenon. Yeah, it's an unblinking eye that you never know when it's going to go off, and you're going to have to explain something, and it's going to be like weeks later too. It's never like, 10 minutes later. It's like, remember back in September 9th at 4:12 p.m.? You're like, no. Oh, well, we have a video now. Put a TV show camera up. Let's make a trucker movie. Yeah, that'd be good. They should make a movie out of it. I would not work for a company with driver-facing camera. Kim, I agree. If the camera is mandatory, my recommendation has been to people not to work there. It's one thing if you go there and then they add it. You have to decide, because changing company, it's harder. Do I leave? How are they about the camera? But if you calling places and they have a driver-facing camera, I wouldn't do it if it's mandatory. New trucks, new terminal. They're expanding at GP Transco, yes. All that safety stuff distracts you from driving. I agree. You have to think, are they going to watch me? What's going to happen here? I shouldn't have to think about that also. The camera itself is a distraction that the company puts in to the truck. David, how do you handle a company not paying you layover or detention pay and pay you pre-trip and post-trip? You don't work there. That's, I mean, seriously. Oh, that's a flippant answer. Not really. Go work somewhere that pays you for your time. That's the only way to do it, because right now the law is they don't have to pay it. So you can't file a claim or anything and get it approved. So there's really nothing we can do except not work there. You say, are you going to pay me for this or not? Do I need to go to the Department of Labor? You can file, but they're going to say, look, transportation's exempt. That's going to be the first thing that happens, and you'll probably get fired. So for filing, even though they say they won't do it. But I'm just saying that because of the Federal Labor Standards Act, they don't have to pay you for this time. Some companies do, some don't. Work for a place that pays you. You saw a yellow GP Transco truck yesterday. That possibly could be an owner-operator. Maybe. I've never seen a yellow one. What did you do wrong? Was asking me about my driving. Yeah, that's exactly what they did wrong. Right. My 2020 Freightliner's automatic braking and adaptive cruise. Exactly. Driver assistance 4.0 works good. Maybe they've improved it since 18. It's possible. This one follows cars. If you're following a car in my truck and it moves over and it doesn't get in the next lane quickly, it'll actually track the car in that lane. I can see the speed and all that in front of me. So they're getting off to go off here. And so they're slowing way down, and I'm getting a warning, and they're not in my lane. They're getting it off an exit or whatever. And that kind of thing can set off a camera in some of these trucks that have cameras. That's a problem. That's a problem. It doesn't track it correctly, and it also tracks overhead things. You'll be coming up to a bridge, and suddenly you get this collision warning, right? And brakes come on. Oh, I love it. It's 10 degrees out. The brakes are slamming on. I love it. For a truck pet, cat or dog, or a rabbit. And why? Well, of course, you'd want a cat. I mean, what other thing would you want in the truck, really? You always have to have a cat in the truck. That's the way to do it. That's what I say. Always been a cat person. Had a cat growing up. Always have cats around. You don't. And they're easier to take care of. Look, you don't have to walk the cat or whatever. Most places don't want you walking a dog, but if you have a cat, it isn't as big of a problem. Well, where did I go off to? Right. We're not growing too fast. If we wanted to, we could buy hundreds of trucks and fill them each year. We intentionally grow in a managed way. You're getting to be a good-sized place, though, which is great. Is $1.75 for all miles a good rate? Oh, good. An owner-operator can answer that. What do you think about $1.75? Because I have the rates right now. Vans, $1.97, up 2 cents. Flats are $2.17 average, and reefers are $2.35, up a nickel from last month. That's current average from according to DAT. That's the current average rate. Yellow GP Transco must have been an owner-operator. That's what I thought. Alexander can override the cruise and get it to work. I'm still stuck at 65, but it's better than 62. So you're doing so your truck works the same way, and we're 65 too. So don't feel bad about that. So when the sensor thing doesn't work, it won't let you use the cruise. But if you keep pressing it a couple more times, it will allow you to use the cruise manually. I love it. I'm more of a Slayer person, Alexander. Wow. Well, I think we drifted off there, as I would be more of like a Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond type of person. To shut off the on-guard system, shut off the truck, hold the button that has the arrow pointed down while restarting the truck. Really? To shut off on-guard, shut off the truck, hold down the button that has the arrow pointed down, and restart the truck. That's interesting. I will try that today. I'm writing that down. How about that? All right, so we'll try that off. Restart the truck. I'll try it and let you know what happens. What year and kind of truck is that? I just had a beetle hit my windshield. Does that count? Nice. HEP Transco, who do I talk to if your DM isn't giving you miles and keeps you sitting? Everybody. Just start talking to everybody. How about that? How can you not be a Beatle fan? I just never got into it. I just never got into that kind of Beatles. It was a little bit before my time, I will say that, being as my extreme upper 30s. The wife kind of likes them, but never really got into that. More of the 70s ABBA. I'm a big ABBA fan. How about that? We are from all states except Florida and Georgia. That's GP Transco. InfoWars is live. The Alex Jones Show. Nice. Exposing the evil and corruption. All right, Alex Jones is live right now. That's go. Alex Jones, right. InfoWars. Paul McCartney must have be a team driver because he gets by with little help from his friends. Wow. Personal conveyance should be allowed by every company. At times it's just needed for safe operation. It should be, but they're not required to. And some say, look, it's our truck and you can't drive it anywhere that we don't tell you to. So if I have to go home to do an emergency, I'll put that truck in PC and go home, drop the loaded trailer to drop yard and go. You could, right, as long as Smith allows it or whatever, absolutely. But here, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's blacked out of the thing. It's not even an option because they don't allow it. So it's not on the ELD. Just talked to Mario, head of company operations. All right. When you need a spotter full-time while Bill's ready for you? King Bob, yeah. I seen you pics of a teal GP Transco truck I saw in Iowa. It's kind of blurry because of the blood sugar. Let's get that blood sugar taken care of first. But, okay, I appreciate that. I'll take a look at it. We'll keep you in mind with the new opening terminal. You might need one. Holy mackerel. Here's a way to do it. Hello, Mark from Salem, New Hampshire. 30 and snowing. You need to come over here where it's going to be 40 and not bad today. It's going to be 50s this week. John Schneider, 34 is always at home. Love it. Recap done to get back home. Truck not governed. That's even better, especially out west. Brand new equipment. ELD on the Keep Trucking app, 3,000 miles, 23%, $1,500 a week. See, this is what I'm saying. So it was possible for you, even after being out of the industry, to get a job. I'm sure you probably don't have a camera in the truck either. That's not a camera, no governor, right? A decent truck, good miles, and good pay. It's certainly possible in the industry to do that. People don't have to stay at England. They don't have to stay, at Pam or whatever, getting 20 cents, Western. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to. We're editing the video today about Dominic having the driver-facing camera. Oh, great. Because people that don't know, Dominic, the CEO of GP Transco, had a driver-facing camera put in his pickup truck that he drives, his personal pickup truck. So lots of interesting Q&A with him and our head of safety. I would love to see that. I hope everybody goes and watches that. So, and I can't wait to see it as well. He had a camera put in his own personal pickup truck to show that he believes in it and is doing it. And I would say most places that have these cameras, if you have a camera at your company, go ask the CEO if they have one in their car. Don't be dredging up that stuff you did in the 90s. Well, Bill, wow. But probably, I can't even say this when I was about just thinking there. I work for Total Transportation and have yet to receive detention pay on nothing, even though I have been detained. Well, Bubba, do they pay detention pay? That's the question. They're not required to pay it. Some companies do and some don't. So the question is, what is their company policy on detention pay? And that's what you should be paid. You should be paid for all your time, all right? But what their policy is what they should actually give you because you agreed to it when you started working there, right? Because we go to a company and go, I want to work here. And they go, here's what we offer. And you go, I'll work for you. So you accept what they give you. So what's their policy? After 2 hours, 4 hours, or do they not pay it? You need to talk to Total and say, what exactly is the total transportation policy on detention? Having the camera facing you will make people nervous because they never know if someone's watching. Yeah, Michael, you never know if it's going to go off. You just don't know. And it does change the way you drive, I think. GP has a leasing program. All right, it's a good program. Be sure you know how to manage finances since you'd be an owner-operator. Yeah, you would be, and pretty much you'd be an owner-operator totally, right. My company has DFC. All incidents are physically reviewed and not just submitted. You'd know someone is not watching since the camera does not provide a live video feed into the cabin for GP Transco, but it is possible for these cameras to provide a live video feed, and I know this because the camera makers say it on their website that it is possible to have a live video feed. So we do know it's possible. You may not use that feature. I don't know what kind of camera you're using at GP Transco, but some of them, like the Rand McNally camera, it does have a live feed. They put it out as a marketing tool to get companies to buy it. So I know that they allow it. Driver-facing camera is BS. I agree with you. I refuse to have a driver-facing camera. Only Jesus can judge you. That's one way to do it. You're going to have to let him take the wheel eventually. How about that? See, I know some songs. How could I go about filing charges against a person going and harassing me to trucking companies I apply to? I don't know what that means. I guess the police would be the one way to do it. My Freightliner had a Mobileye installed and a camera. Nice. My Peterbilt has one, but I can block the camera with one of the visors. Mobileye is more annoying. What is Mobileye? Cash is king. No one can judge me. You have no deity needs. You judge yourself according to actions and ethics. You probably do pretty good that way. Mobileye went off within like a half mile. What is a Mobileye? More distracting than safe. I know, because when it goes off and then you're like, oh, what did I do wrong or whatever, you shouldn't have to think about that. You should only be thinking about being safe. Alexander, when you were at the USX, you had an audio recording device. I would intentionally set it off and have your music all the way and cuss like a sailor. Okay, I've seen some of these. Is this the one that's kind of up on the pillar right up here to the left of your head? And so they only recorded audio in the truck occasionally, or did it record audio all the time? That's crazy. What would you say a solo driver, the average miles a week or month would comfortably consider running? At least 10,000? Any question? 2 average per mile pay? Pulling from a load board. I don't know about the load board. We'll have to get an owner operator. I'm a company driver, so I don't know about that part of it. There are several owner operators on here right now that can help out with that. I think you should be able to do 10,000 miles a month. But see, on a load board, if you made $350 a mile, you wouldn't have to do 10,000 miles a month, right? So if you can vary your pay, I know there are some owner operators on here that have gotten $5 a mile for some loads that they've picked up. So it depends. You wouldn't need as many miles. Everything trucking companies do is for their benefit. The benefit is profits under the guise of safety. I agree with that. But that is for the company side of it. Look, a company's job is to make a profit for the company. Their job isn't to give jobs or do anything else. Their whole idea is to make money for them, right? So when we go to work, we're there to make them money. They're not there to help us, really. We got to insist on it. What about driving and smoking or vaping or just blowing a puff of smoke on the driver camera? That's interesting. I wonder if you could do that. Some companies don't allow it. 2019 Pete, the auto braking is terrible. I don't like it on my 18 Freightliner. Don't like it at all. A bigger out hits, looks in the crowd, right? I can't get too much into religion or we'll have fights on our hands, right? And tigers and people with pitchforks. Are you sure you're not teal blind? Oh, nice. I sometimes see 2 or 3 trucks. You should get the teal vision check. Maybe I need those in chroma glasses for people because I have yet to see one of these trucks on the road. People are seeing yellow ones. I see white Volvos and stuff for them, but these teal trucks, I just can't find them. I think they're all in Utah or something. Looking at this thing. Let's see where. Right. Who remembers this thing? Ironically. Remember these? Remember this thing? You know you've seen it. Where is it? And do you know the name of it? For extra credit, what is the actual name of that? How about that? All right. So there's that. I have a friend who has a pet skunk. I don't know if they'd allow a pet skunk, Alexander. I'd pet it. I'm in. Animals seem to love me. I can go up to barking dogs and stuff, and they are nice to me. So the skunk would probably like me too. I'm working on getting the squirrels to eat out of my hand off the balcony here. I'm working on that. We'll see if I can get that to happen. I met the driver who had 2 cats over the road with him. He can't imagine how that sleepers. Cats don't smell bad. Look, people think that's the problem, right, as an aside for cats, all right? People get a cat smell because they don't change the litter box often enough. Like these litter boxes here get cleaned all the time. And this one cat has 3 litter boxes. Okay, and they are forever being cleaned, changed, and everything else. That's all you got to do. Okay, you can't let it sit there forever. They need to be changed constantly, all the time, getting cleaned and stuff. The cats love to keep clean. They do. They keep themselves clean. All you got to do is take care of the litter boxes. It's not that hard to do. And there has to be at least 1 more litter box than you have cats. At least 1 extra litter box. 2 companies start bankrupt next month. Trust me, trucking big problem. Oh, look, people got to eat. People need toilet paper. Not every company can go bankrupt, and some of them need to go bankrupt, and it allows everybody else to make money. $1.75 is not enough. My rates all miles last year, $1.81, Nomad Trucker. So the more you make, the less you got to work, right? Hallmark from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. What's up, James Gazillo from Brooklyn? Hey, what's happening out there? Super 10s rule. What do they rule, though? That's the question. The rules, I think the rules should be no Super 10s. Yeah, I was looking at a company that pays $1.75, loaded and empty. Well, that's better. I just saw an ad for, who was running an ad? Maybe U.S. Express this weekend. Anyhow, dollar a mile. Love it. Thank you, comfortable man. This person has their friends that throwing pallets of bookcases at your truck. Yeah, we'll call the cops, right? That was on a 2016 Cascadia. ABBA's in the 70s. I know I have ABBA Gold here. Who doesn't have it? $1.75 isn't good. The rates are 200 miles or less. We've seen as high $5 a mile. That would be great. So if you're getting $5 a mile on some loads, you don't have to do 10,000 miles. Roger Penske, early show. Yeah, last week and this week, here's the thing, right? I do regular run, but the run stopped. So they're like, we're not doing this run you were doing. So they sent me at home, and I get $200 a day to not work, which is pretty good money. People say that's not much, but I didn't have to work for 4 days. So there's $800 for doing nothing, see our England drivers. So and you can do it, we hire too. And then once a run comes, though, you have to go do it. So the run is earlier, and I didn't have any choice. They'll stop paying me if I don't do it. So it's just last week and this week, though. We'll be back to normal time on the 20th. They're paying for all their fees and insurance. Or might not be too bad. I have a Slayer tattoo, Alexander Sweet. And I'm one of those scary Slayer fans that comes out of the ground at concerts, according to comedian. All right. Well, look, to each his own. Slayer's way hard for me, but I'll check out the tattoo, but I don't know about checking out the band. Wouldn't litter box make a mess if you hit a big bump? No, you're just not filled up to the top. And honestly, a big litter box, right, you can shake it pretty good. That litter's not going to come out there. It's got 3 or 4 pounds of litter in it. So no problem. Your company Volvos have a CMS, 100% better than your old Freightliner and Kenworth used to drive. Collision mitigation. It's a 2020. You've got 12,000 on it and put 11,000 on. Look, if they've improved it from 18, I would love it because it shouldn't follow a car out of your lane. It shouldn't look at bridges. It shouldn't do any of that. And I don't think it should ever do anything to the brakes. My PC is I put the pen down. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. 190,000 miles a year at a 52 cents a mile, home every night. Lime hauls the weight. How do you do 200,000 miles and home every night? I mean, that's crazy. I'm home every day. I don't do anywhere close to those kind of miles. They should have hired Paul McCartney. I don't know why they didn't hire Paul McCartney on the spot. I mean, just that name, bingo, you're in. And then I'd post it. We just hired Paul McCartney to drive our trucks. I would probably use that driver. Look, if he would be willing to do it, put that driver in videos. Paul McCartney endorses GP Transco. That's how I would do it. It's totally true. Speaking of PC, we had a driver about 300 miles, drive 300 miles without asking, and later tells, wait, I can't do that. Well, you do it. It's a company policy. It's company by company, and I don't know what your policy is there. That seems like a long PC. You should always ask first to see what their PC policy is, certainly. It's power only, and they cover everything, including tolls. All right. Hey, Mark, I could send you pictures of the teal truck. At least I could see one, yes. Hey, Pam was 22 cents a mile. Yikes, Tony Savage. It'd be better than my pick. I'd still get shaky for my cancer stuff. Oh, that's true, right. I'm glad that you're back out working, though. Anthony, who's going to call the owner of a company to tell him he's doing something wrong when driving? Well, I don't know. I mean, look, he should, he's going to put the camera in the truck, he's going to have to put the videos out there because he's going to make a big deal about it. And I'm somebody who wouldn't mind saying it to him. If I worked at a place, I'll tell him whatever. What do I think about Millis? They got bought by Heartland, but so far, a couple of people have write to me and said they're going to keep me updated. Nothing's changed yet. So I think that's pretty interesting. They thought maybe January 1st something would change, but I got a recent letter that nothing yet has changed at Millis. So far, still good, still okay. Ryan, I wouldn't touch a dedicated run for less than $350. What's the best antenna to run with a Cobra Classic? I've never been the antenna person either, so I just use the ones that come with the truck. I know people get into all that stuff. CB is just not that big of a deal. Super great. Ooh, Blackbeard is here for all that stuff. El Paso to Lufkin inside 11 hours. Man. I live in California. I'm looking to move to Texas. Can anyone recommend a good company around Dallas? Okay. Who's around Dallas right now? Louis Ball of France, 5'5" is the best I found for a Cobra 29. Alexander, I'm not dang, I didn't do something. It's good afternoon. Kenworth Rider, it's good to see you. And they also have outside facing video, Alexander. It only kicked on during a driving event. I always make sure to say vile things and upset them. I love it, right? That's the greatest thing to do, right? Let them get a show out of it. As an owner operator, so they have this outside video and an inside audio. Give them something to listen to. What are they going to say to you? You can't say those things. Saying things is a distraction. Jason, as an owner operator, I don't care about miles as much as dollars per day. I look to make the most while driving. That's exactly. Keep the miles down on your truck. You'd make more money, right? Because you're using more fuel. Truck C. Oh, man, finally caught you live. How do you feel about the company MBT, Mesilla Valley Transport? It's not the best place in El Paso. I will say that. What is that place? Oh, Out West Express. They're one of the better places in El Paso. If you don't work there, give them a call. They're down in the same area. Seems to be like a black hole of good places. Out West Express. Wilson Rain, Utah. Yes, that's in Utah. What is the name of that? Anybody remember that name of this? Right. You've all seen it, or many people have seen it anyway. Some of you haven't seen it. Can I still drive trucks via accidents? Yes, you can. It just depends on the accidents and who will hire you. But certainly, as long as you got a license, you can drive. You are unique. Everyone has ABBA Gold. Oh, sure. But you're the only one that has it on 8-track. I actually do have it on 8-track, by the way. I do. I also have it on CD, although I don't know why. My company sent me home because I got in an accident, and I just got my CDL. I was a student driver. That's a problem. But that doesn't mean you can't get another job. Columbia, George, greetings. I haven't caught the live show in ages. Archie, Utah. I'm waiting to get unloaded at Walmart in Pottsville, done with Over the Road, looking for local runs in Utah. There's got to be, if you're in a major city in Utah, there's got to be local jobs. And I will tell you, even though I probably don't recommend England, they probably have a local job. They do this in Chicago and Indianapolis at all of these large companies. They'll run local hourly plus overtime in their major cities. Not bad. And you always have freight coming in from road drivers. So to get delivered. If they'll pay hourly, not a bad gig, because you get the benefits of a large place with all their insurance and stuff, even though you're home every day. Paid miles more than actual miles driven. Where does that happen? K. Wayne, Paul McCartney's the perfect guy to take your truck down a long and winding road. Wow. Are you looking up lyrics now? Holy moly. That's good. That's another good one. Schneider's does not have PC, and their tablet ELDs are a joke. Okay? Yeah, but we don't run PC either. Howdy, Mark. You're a little early today. Matt Hatter. Yeah, I had a job change, and so they had me off for a few days, which I got paid for. But then as soon as there's a run, you have to do it, or they'll stop paying you. So had to go early. Next week, we'll be back on time. Luke, well, do I want meatloaf for spaghetti and meatballs for lunch? Well, why can't you have both? That's always the question. What vintage truck do you have today? Well, let's see what kind of vintage truck I have today. This is not too vintage. I drove one of these kinds of trucks for Rheem water heaters. So out of Chicago. And it was not Ruan, maybe it was a Ruan rental. Rollins. No, it was a Rollins. That's where we rented trucks from, Rollins. It was a Rollins rental truck. That's where we got our truck and trailers from. Rollins, Rheem, there were 5 of us that drove there. The trailers were drop deck vans that had hydraulic legs, for no better reason, between the back tires to lift the back of the trailer up to dock height because it was really low, so that they could stack the water heaters. Couldn't lay them on their side, so they were stacked in the back of the trailer. But I had one of these trucks. These were pretty common back then. You could stand up in them and everything. You had to open the door and then climb up. I'm using the mouse pointer, which no one can see but me, so that's a great idea. So that's not too old of a truck, but somewhat. How about these balls? What happened to these balls? No one knows the name of this thing, though, do they? Where is it? At least where is it? So that's the Tree of Utah. Okay, Wayne. Oh, there I go. Right. It is the Tree of Utah. What does the name the artist gave it, though? It is called the Tree of Utah. I agree with you. Dart has a terminal in Dallas. All right. Dart does not turn out best. Out West has driver-facing cameras. Oh, did those go in? All right, then they're out. GP Transco, is it mandatory? Don't see any information about leasing. Yeah, I didn't know that they lease trucks there, so that's pretty interesting. There's artwork on the salt flats between Tool and Wendover. That is true, right? Artwork in quotes because it's in the eye of the beholder. Out West Express, thank you. You're from Houston, got 3 years over the road. Want local or I will say Out West does dedicated runs as a company driver. Ask them about the cameras. I save on fuel costs by buying it at your local co-op for 40 cents cheaper than the chains. Pay your bill every week and receive 3 cents per gallon rebate. All right. You see, you got it figured out. There's no reason that I think if you do this kind of stuff and are actually running a business, you can do it. Todd is in Lamar's, Iowa, getting a windshield replaced after rock took it out. Then off to Norcross, Georgia. Where is Lamar's, Iowa? Rheem in Chicago, next door to Nabisco. Yeah, I can't remember where it was. It seems like it was up in the Bensonville area. This was a long time ago when I used to live up there. And we got the trucks from Rollins on 290. It was off of 290 somewhere. The Eisenhower. Oh, the memories. Go see Randy at Land Air off California Avenue in West Valley for a good local job. All right. Just met a GP truck, a white one, though, of course. Oh, you drove one of those too? Yeah, I mean, had the little stubby shifter, but you could get in and out of it. It was almost like a regular truck inside, except it turned really good. Alexandra, I thought about that too. I didn't know if anybody noticed that. I thought about that after I said it. But it was already out there. Oh my gosh. I had an 82 spring ride cab over International. It was a horrible truck. Oh, holy mackerel. I thought about that too. Yikes. Holy mackerel. That was something. Once it's out there, though, it's out there. It's also called the Tree of Life, but that's what the artist called it. FedEx line hauls 572 miles to 692 miles a day. Paid miles are more than actual miles. Wow. Even had a 795-mile day. That is a lot of miles. H.L. Welding has no cameras. Experienced drivers make 51 cents. That's really good. Ream was on Kedzie in the south side around 75th. I don't know. I don't remember it being that far down there. Maybe? Was Ream that far down? I can't remember it being that far down. Where did this art sculpture go, as I'll call it here? The art sculpture is called Metaphor. How about that? The artist called it Metaphor. I don't know why. They're considering building a visitor center there, which I guess is as good a place to stop as any, because there's signs that say, hey, this road is so boring, why don't you pull over and take a sleep break? So, Metaphor. I have some J.B. Hunt news. J.B. Hunt just awarded $50,000 to a driver who got their 5 million safe miles. And they've been at J.B. Hunt the whole time. They started there in 1984 at J.B. Hunt, presumably in this truck. And he just got 5 million safe miles, and they gave him $50,000. How about that? That's nowhere near KLLM kind of miles, but not bad. And by the way, they thinking, can you do that many miles in that time? Yes, that is actually 2,670 miles a week. So 138,000 miles a year. That's good miles, but it's doable since 1984, and he got $50,000 for it. It's their first driver they've ever had get 5 million safe miles. So that is really, really good. So absolutely. That you're JB or anywhere and you go 5 million safe miles, that's good. Who here has driven to Spicer 7-speed unsynchronized? Wow, Spicer 7-speed. I remember years ago, CRST used to have 7-speed cab overs. I don't know if they were synchronized or not. RG Utah. The Tree of Utah is by the Swedish plastic artist known as Carl Moman and was built in 1980. Yes. People that run 80 all the time, of course, see it constantly. Hubert, right? It takes a lot of balls to make a sculpture like that. That's pretty good. Misty, quick break. Pride has local drivers in Salt Lake City. It's grocery store delivery. I did a couple runs for them when you were at Pride. All right, Pride is out there too. So any of these large companies too, Pride, even England, whatever, a large company in a large city usually has local drivers. They have day cab drivers. It's one way to get into a place and make probably more money than some of their road drivers, depending on the company. Some of the balls are missing. You saw that thing a couple weeks ago. Really? There have always been those ones on the ground that are broken. That's part of the sculpture. So what happened? Are they descending off of it, you might say? Is the JB Hunt and KLLM guy the same person? That's be something. This guy is actually legitimate. I should have wrote his name down, but I didn't. And this is 2,670 miles a week. That's certainly doable as a road driver. So that's pretty good. And they gave him $50,000. Not bad. Back on the road, be safe driving and listening. Thank you for that. And for saying that too, Pride. So check out Pride in Salt Lake City for a local job. RG Utah, I always thought the balls were on the floor part of the artwork. Yeah, the ones that are down on the ground that are broken open or whatever, it's part of the sculpture. I don't know what it's supposed to mean, honestly. All Spice 7 speeds are unsynchronized. My first truck driving job was in International with a 7-speed. Right, so CRST, they used to have those kind of trucks with a 7-speed. I remember that. They had, because I was talking to drivers, and they're like, oh, 7-speed, and it looked like this truck, right? CRST ran these same kind of trucks like this JB Hunt truck. And maybe they thought it was easier for the drivers to shift. These are the people you'd find going up Mount Eagle at 18 miles an hour, you know. Alexander, I'm about as culture with art as U.S. Express over the road drivers are able to make a decent living on their paychecks. That's very good. It's Metaphor Day here on the channel. If I had enough money, I'd move out of California. We make the same amount while everything goes up. Yes, Jeff, I don't know how people live in California. I really don't know how people afford it. I don't know. Even the two of you work, both of you'd have to have 2 jobs to make any kind of decent living. Moving out would be the best thing to do. You make the same money and have a third of the cost to live. Columbia, Georgia was a used JB Hunt truck. Back in the day, the JB Hunt trucks were 7 speeds. Okay, so maybe they all bought them the same way. Do you ever find out what happened to Red Star? Christina, no. No, I didn't. Well, it looks dilapidated and broken. But that's how it's supposed to look. Those ones on the ground have always been there since I've been going by them, and they're part of the sculpture. And down the hill at 28, yeah, because no jakes. Some of them I remember then didn't have jakes. In fact, my first company, Regal Transport, my first road company, we didn't have jakes on the trucks either. No exhaust brake, as people would say. I work for Pride in Salt Lake, but local drivers don't make good money. Well, that's disappointing. It's certainly worth calling these places to see what they pay. Sometimes these large companies pay their local drivers more than the road drivers. Just droopy, it's old. Yeah, that's what happens. You get older, and what they should do is have a pile of water down there for them to droop into. I work for Sunset Logistics out of Grand Rapids. I don't make the most per mile, but the culture's worth, I make $50 less a week. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Look, I don't make the most of anybody here either. I don't ever claim, I make way more than everybody. I don't. Many of you make more than me. It's worth working somewhere that you like to work, that you enjoy going into work. At whatever you're doing, road, local, coal, right, aluminum, sulfate, or whatever it is you haul around, liquid, it doesn't matter. You got to like going to work. What is the point of spending your life at a place that you hate? Or even a day, even one day. You have so few days on the planet. They're so limited. Don't even spend one of it wasted at a place that you hate, that doesn't treat you right, that mistreats you. Get out of there and go somewhere else. It's just not worth it. Money, you can go make money everywhere. Money is not the problem. Go find a better place to work. You'll probably make more money too. I saw Sear England trucks in Portland, Oregon that are local drivers. They're day cabs. Yeah, they have them in Indianapolis running around too. Every major city has England, and many large carriers have day cab trucks. Gary, I think Schneider's got day cabs in Gary, right? My North Indiana people, don't they have day cabs up there, or at least drivers that run locally? A lot of these large places have local drivers in large cities. Alexander, if you can move in Indiana. It's nice and cheap. I know. You need to come move one state over too. Did you ever get that truck, by the way? You're going to go get a truck. Sear England has lots of day cabs. Yeah. And I don't know what it pays, all right? It may be horrible pay also. But usually the day cab drivers at these large places do okay. And they get all the benefits of the road drivers from a huge company and still get to go home every day. Don Pepe, good afternoon. Have a great day and be safe. Hey, good afternoon. It's good to see you today. Mississippi's cheap living. Yeah, any of the Midwest, right, is always cheaper living. Even Illinois would be better than California, certainly. Mississippi's a crappy state to live in. It would be cheap to live there, though, right? Alexander, you're going to move back to Indianapolis. All right. Right down the street. There's tons of jobs in Indianapolis, too, if you want to change where you are. Checking in late, had to help my neighbor after his 2019 Silverado was up on blocks. What the heck? Where are you living where you buy a new truck and then people put it up on blocks? Holy moly. It's time to move out of there. CR England has the Anheuser-Busch dedicated out of Fort Collins, so a lot of day cabs around Denver. Werner used to have it. There's something else, too. Pam. This is one I just saw an ad for. Pam, of all places. Pam has an ad in Fort Wayne, Indiana for Silverado, which reminded me of that. The Chevy plant up there, they make pickup trucks. Pam apparently has that account because they're running an ad. They pay $11.40 a week minimum. Home every day, 10 hours a day, and they pay that $11.40 when the plant is closed, it said. Because all these automotive plants, because Subaru right here in town does the same thing, they close for 2 weeks in the summer and a couple weeks in the winter. Pam pays it at $11.40 with no work during that same time. And you get the benefits of Pam, and longer runs pay more. They had a monthly and a quarterly safety bonus. I'm like, wow, why don't all the Pam road drivers go do that? They'd be way better off. They had new trucks. They were putting on a bunch of 2020 trucks on it. Yeah, absolutely. That's Pam in Fort Wayne, Indiana, running a local job that pays a salary. AAA Cooper is in some states that I know. Best driving job you've had so far. All right. I don't know if I've seen too many of their trucks. See them around. I'm from Mississippi, but we have summer home in Colorado. Oh, nice. Mississippi is much cheaper, I can imagine. Columbia, George, the balls in that sculpture were broken by a Teenage Mutant Ninja cat. Well, they would have pushed them off the side of the desert by now. Most people here in California don't even have enough gas money to get out. They need to put a GoFundMe just to get out of the state. I think when you can't fill your truck up with all your stuff and just drop it off in Arizona, just leave your car. Alexander got the truck. Nice. It's the truck you've been driving, only 161 miles. It's the truck I've been driving, only 161,000 miles. You said you were going to get a new truck. Even as an owner-up, you need to take runs you want to do, even if it's less money. If you don't like the run, you'll actually drive worse than burn more fuel. Well, I do think there's something to say to that, too, that a job you don't like, as an owner-operator or company driver, you're not going to be as good at it. You won't be as efficient. You won't be as safe. If you just hate every day, you're like, oh, I hate it. And you'll die when you're 50 years old from stress. It's not worth it. It just is not worth it. I helped out on a shuttle run in Pennsylvania area and ran it up to Bethlehem for England. Oh, I want to say it was about $750 after taxes I made a week. That's not super great. $750 a week. Well, maybe after taxes, all right. If you're home every day and it's not too long of a day, that's not terrible. Roger Penske's back home again. All right. Being a day cab driver can stink if you work a 12 or 14 hours a day and then have a half-hour commute. I agree. Don't work a 14-hour day as a day cab driver. I agree with you. Totally agree. There's no point in working 14 or longer hours a day as a day cab driver and then have a really long commute. That's you don't have a life beyond that. It's still just work, sleep, work, sleep. Not great. Except you spend more on gas than a road driver because you got to drive to work every day. We have people drive in here from Logansport, from Kokomo in here. And I'm like, why you commute 2 hours? That's crazy. Anywhere in Illinois outside of Crook County, that's the worst one to live, right? I always remember when I lived in Hammond, you'd always see all the Illinois plates up and down State Line Avenue and Homan and that because nobody knows where that is. Mark, what are you talking about? They're at the gas stations getting gas and cigarettes to take back. They even had to put signs up in Illinois. If you bring cigarettes back, you can be subject to a federal fine or whatever. Nobody cared. Everybody would get their stuff and go back to Illinois. I'll be George on a haul aluminum sulfate, home every day. Not bad. Do you like the job? What do you think? We notice a good number of experienced drivers don't think they ever need to get out and look. We always tell them there's no shame in it and it's better to be safe than sorry. Agree. If you can't see it, go look at it. I mean, absolutely. Drivers get complacent over time, just like every other field, and need to be encouraged to get out and look at stuff. Absolutely. But if you can't, I don't know why people are worried about this. I guess everybody is at some point in their life, but can't be worried about what other people think. Who cares? You're not there to impress other people or whatever, watching or whatever. That used to bother me. I remember starting driving, especially locally. You're trying to back in. I'm trying to back in. Couldn't do it or whatever. And there's 10 people watching it. Now, who cares, right? You're never going to see these people. They don't pay your bills. Don't worry about what they think. Don't have an accident. It's never worth having an accident. Get out and look. Now, don't put these get out and look stickers over the mirror, which I came in a couple of years ago, and the company thought it was a good idea to put get out and look stickers on your mirrors. So I peeled those off my mirrors. Stupid. Who puts a sticker? Oh, I'm going to cover half your mirror with a sticker that says be safe or whatever. But I agree. Get out and look. And that's true. People get complacent in everything they do. My next move is into my own truck and my own authority. All right. It seems freight is a trending to smaller companies away from mega fleets. Let's hope. But a lot of freight though goes per dollar. So if somebody can haul it for less, I don't know. JB Hunt has dry day cans everywhere. 65,000. Bryson, 65 grand. Depends how many hours you work. Not bad. I wouldn't mind working a day can. My buddies, I get what you're saying though. Sam, my buddy, is a gravel rock hauler in Denver, home every night. And now they alternate Saturdays, so it's not as many 6-day work weeks. All right. Home every day, not every Saturday. Does he like doing the job? Am I going to the truck show? It's in late March, the Princess of Dixie Hill. I am, and I have a card for it. If I can find it, because I moved everything around. There it is, and there's the truck show right there. I hope to see everybody down there in March. Be sure to go truckingshow.com, get registered, get your tickets. They're free. They'll send them to your house in the beginning of March. Because if you show up at the door, they charge you $10 to get in. Don't pay to get in this place. Get your tickets at no charge for the truck show. So yeah, absolutely, I will be there, and I hope to see everybody else there. Come up and say hi. We'll say hi and have a wiener together. And don't forget to see Jay tomorrow. That's Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central. Auto transport intel, right? Fascinating. Get the auto transport part of the industry, which I know like zero about. Jay knows everything about. Go check him out for that kind of stuff tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time. How about that? Oh, right there. So, yeah, I will be at the truck show. I hope everybody comes. Everybody needs to be down there. Local jobs should pay truck drivers to drive in their terminals. Technically, that's driving. You're not getting paid for. Local jobs should pay their drivers to drive into the terminal. That's not driving. That's driving. I think you should get paid for your time as a local driver. I guess I'm not quite getting it. Thickhead. Got a friend in New Jersey who hauls trash. He loves it. Pays well. I see trash. KBJ trash, something out of Indianapolis. They're looking 65 to 70,000 in their ads, home every day. It says no slow season. People generate trash year round. That's what it said. So yeah, absolutely. I thought Pam was one of the companies that went out of business. No, Pam is still in business, and they just ran that ad. I just remember seeing that ad for that, and I thought, wow, that's not bad. Local driver with benefits and up $1,200 plus a week, home every day, no touch. It's automotive, light loads, new trucks. The UPS driver told me that I need to back fast but safe. All right? Yeah, get it done, but always be safe. Safety over speed. What's more embarrassing is when you rip off someone's bumper. Yes, that's hard to explain. And regarding leasing a truck, please go to the website and fill out a contact form. We'll get back to you more info. All right. What's home time in California, GP? Where's the truck show located? Oh, it's in Louisville, Kentucky. The truck show is the Mid-America Truck Show. It'll be at the Louisville, in the middle of Louisville Convention Center. I don't know what it's called. Expo Center. Anyhow, it's in Louisville, Kentucky. It's all on the website there, truckingshow.com. And it's the biggest truck show in the country every year. So everybody, if you want a job, if you want to just go harass companies, you want to get some good food, see a bunch of classic trucks, show trucks and everything, and just walk around, it's a great place. You need pens. Every company's giving out pens and stuff. Oh, if you need a pen, whatever it is, come on down. I like it. I drive a day cab and work 14 hours a day in the summertime, but in the winter it's 8 to 10 hours. All right, so it's on and off. That's a long day. I will say for a day cab, that's a long day. If you live close to work, that's better. 3 to 4 weeks out in California, home a day for each week you're elk. Almost showtime, right? Oh, right. Almost, but not quite. Drive right to Denver, home every 3 weeks. All right. Hello from Jersey. What's going on? Try to back with my tandems all the way to the rear. It makes backing a breeze. I agree. I'm just too lazy to get out there. And slide them all the time. I'm only going to back in one time a day. And honestly, it's not even in a dock, so I don't have too much of a problem with it. But it makes it easier if you're at a tight spot, move your tandems all the way back. Sometimes you get stuck with one of those lever trailers, and then you can't get the things to move. Holy mackerel. Did anybody have a problem this week at the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse? Well, the FMCSA did. Guess what? The FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, which was set to open January 6th and meant that companies, when they wanted to hire drivers, had to check the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse for your information if you applied. Well, it went down. The site went down, and companies weren't able to check. And so companies didn't know what to do. People couldn't get hired. What a total disaster. The FMCSA finally came out and said, look, for right now, you don't have to query the database until we figure out how to get everybody in. Because even though, all I hear from Freight Waves and all these other places, oh, trucking apocalypse, no jobs. Well, there are so many people. And this is not people applying. This is the company checking the clearinghouse. That means they're checking to see if they can hire you. Not like they told a driver, we're not hiring. They're ready to hire, and they're checking the clearinghouse, and they couldn't. So many of them crashed a government website. And so that went down this week. And so what happens, they've postponed it for now. But we still have to register. Go get registered and all that on the clearinghouse. But companies don't have to check at the moment. They're going to get that straightened back out again. It's just a total government fiasco as usual. And it's not going to really do anything to help the industry. I'll try to, LTI has all air actuated tandems. Oh, sweet. Right. So wish there was a button inside the cab. Wouldn't that be even better? If you could pull that button, they do it for the fifth wheel. That'd be even better. But walking back there, just pull a button. Sometimes I get the new trailers. Like I have I think it's a Hyundai that I'll have today. That was pretty nice. But otherwise, no. Sometimes I get one that was made in the 90s. which seems not that long ago, but that's a long time for a trailer. When I was a yard jockey, we used to drive with our tandems all the way back all the time. I tried it in the truck, and it makes a world of difference. It makes it a lot easier to back in, right? And Wild Bill has more miles backing up going forward, but that reduces the amount of miles that you actually have. So it works on the Ferris-Bueller principle of mileage, which is similar to the Einstein theory of relativity, but it works to the same way, that the more you back up, the less miles that you actually have. So I think that's pretty interesting. Where did I go down with this here? Oh, who also remembers this? Where is this, and who's ever seen it or been in there to experience it? How about that? How about, right? The Thing. It's a wonder. It's the mystery of the desert. The Thing. Some people have been in there. USA stock, truck stock price is $762. I didn't look it up this week to see what it's been, though, in the last, 2 weeks or whatever. Our shipment of 400 GP Transco custom-made winter jackets. Sweet. Figuring out how to give one each of the 400 over-the-road drivers won't be an easy task. How to give one easy. When they come in, you give them a jacket. So that's pretty easy, right? I think that's the simplest way to do it. Say, hey, stop by the terminal and pick up your free jacket. So that also gets all the trucks to run through the bay so they can get, checked to make sure they're okay. Get permits, get those IFTA stickers on if they're not on there yet. It's been warm up right now. So, yeah, but just hand them to them. Custom-made winter jackets. Do they have the driver's name on it, or do they use their handle like Rooster or Hauler and stuff like that? Billy Big Rigger. They could be put in all of them. No, it's a button where the lever would usually be. The fifth wheel on my truck is bolted to the frame. Well, we have automatic fifth wheel releases, let's put it that way. I have a bolted down non-sliding fifth wheel as well. The release is automatic, though, with the button in the cab. A lot of cabs do that now. My tandems are fixed in the back. I get used to it. Oh, well, you don't have any choice. Pam stock is 5737. Oh, they're doing good, but that doesn't mean they're doing good. What was it? It's the curve that it's on, up or down. They are like back in with my parents all the way up. I find it easier just because parents. I just used to swing to get a tight space, especially when you have to walk the trailer back. Yeah. Rhino has seen it. You can't remember where. I-10, people are saying. Some chassis I've seen have separate glad hand to slide the tandems. Really? Just out of Tucson, it's a DQ. That's right. Get a Blizzard and the Thing. King Bob wants his custom-made jacket. What are you going to put it? Does King Bob go on there? England forever with the number 4. Oh, that'd be great. I would pay to put that on there. James Faust has been there to see the Thing. Did you see the Thing? Are the jackets teal? That's a very good question. All GP Transco drivers get one, just like all GP drivers get a GP starter kit during orientation. Are they teal, and is the name on them? Or is the person's handle, or is it just a GP Transco? Not like I don't have a company jacket, so I think that's pretty good. So I bought my own Carhartt jacket. So while picking up jackets, they could spray print the truck's deal. Somebody needs to get a rattle can out there. The jackets are blue with teal sections, some reflective sections. Oh, so it's a safety jacket too. Removable sleeves, really? And a removable hood, water resistant. Like you just rip the sleeves off of it. That's pretty interesting. You love the starter pack. You use the backpack all the time. You get all the good stuff over there. I can't imagine wearing a jacket that says Large Marge. Is that what it would say? Alexander's got Large Marge. And the other one says Billy Big Rigger. Holy moly. And the other one says Cat House on there for somebody that has cats. That wouldn't be a good jacket to wear. The backpack starter kit was awesome. I love to use it daily. Man, everybody's gets all the teal stuff. You know what they don't? What I never see over there is this. What I want to see from GP Transco is this. A teal colored truck. I can't find one. They need to bring one to the truck show and put it inside the building. There'll be companies, by the way, that have a semi inside the building. All the recruiters will be there. I know. It's hard to believe, but they will be there. And you can come and talk to all of them at the truck show. It's going to be a blast down there. The weather should be good this year. I don't know that, of course. It's in Louisville. Come on down and say hello to everybody, and go harass a company, or if you want to talk to a company, they're going to have recruiters there to talk to you. Some of them will answer your questions, some won't. Pam Transport stock is 57.37. They're just such a crap company, but what has it been? What has the stock been? Cassius King would get end user put on the GP Transco jacket. Oh, that's good. That is so good. You win the internet with that. Just like flannel shirts have removable sleeves. Oh, is this so she can wear it in the summer and show off your hairy arms while you're eating at the buffet? Saw a Celadon trailer being loaded near Williams-Sonoma plant in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why are people co-opting these? That's what I think is happening now, because a number of astute viewers send me pictures nearly every week of Celadon trucks and trailers around the country. I think they're being basically stolen and just being used now. Nobody's loading a Celadon trailer with anything, so I think people are just going to use them themselves. Jackets do not have the driver's names on them. It's hard to do them custom like this because they take months to produce, and that time drivers might leave and get new ones. Oh, okay, right. The drivers would have. So drivers, you're going to have to embroider your own name on the jackets. This way, that's true. Well, how are you going to order all the sizes? You would just have to have random sizes then. So you could just have boxes of them waiting there. You saw an England truck with 4 million mile sticker on it. Wow, unless the driver from the family, I don't believe it. Well, this is the first JB with 5 million. I would find it hard to believe that somebody has stayed over the time, because England, as we all remember that have been driving, England used to be a really good company. People wanted to go work there. You would get these coast-to-coast runs, and now I can't imagine anybody staying there. It would have to be somebody that trains, because there's no way they're making it by themselves there. I just don't get any letters from those people, and where I do from other companies. Where the heck is Wall Drug? South Dakota. Wall Drug is in South Dakota. Be sure to get a free glass of water there. Fill your jug at Wall Drug. It was 40 years ago you went to the thing, but don't remember you did go to the Dairy Queen. It's still there. The thing is still there in the desert, and it is amazing. You have to go pay to see the thing in the back, though. You can't just get back there. You have to pay to go back there. They have truck parking in there if anybody wants to go buy it. All gloves have removable fingers, of course. That's the only way to get gloves. Wall Drug's in South Dakota, right. Alexander, I don't need to be showing off the slash wound on my arm and my tattoos. I wear long sleeves year round. Well, I mean, you get tattoos to show them, but right. Long sleeves. I can't wear short sleeve because I burn up in 5 minutes. So people that see me, I'm in pants and sleeves year round outside, and usually a hat too, because I just can't take the sun anymore. Every recruiter at the truck show will give you a website to assist you with questions. Yes, here they're going to just have an automated recruiter there soon. As you walk up to it, arm will come out and give you a card, and then it will kill you, because that's what robots do. But that's it. They'll give you a website. I'm going to go back to the companies that were not that forthcoming and go talk to them again. Leasing jackets, I'm in. Look at that jacket. I will say this. That jacket's pretty nice. My company doesn't give out jackets, and I don't see too many at other companies. I think this JB Hunt driver got one, but most companies don't do it, and I think part of it is because of what they said, which is people leave. So it's an expense, and jackets are not cheap. If you get a nice jacket like this, it can be a lot. My Carhartt jacket was expensive, so I can imagine them buying Carhartts for everybody, and then people leave. It's money. Maybe after a year or something you would get them, but yeah, I agree. I see why places don't do it. Jacob, Roller Wiener Monday. Love watching the show. Help pass the time when getting loaded. I appreciate that. It's always Roller Wiener Monday here for the Monday show. So, as I say, right, get your wieners ready, and the show rolls on. Just like a wiener down a hill. James Faust, that's very cool. I like it. Alexander, I feel it. I'm Norwegian by heritage. I burn. Yeah, so you're the same thing. I'm out 5 minutes in like mid-April, and I'm like, holy mackerel. The wife's like, what happened? Oh, I went out to get the mail, and now I have to lay down in a wax bath for 3 weeks. So I just can't do it. So most of the time, if you see me in the summer, you're like, wow, it's hot out. I go, I know, but I can't be out at all in the sun, or I'm burned up. So I just can't do it. It's pants and long sleeves year round. Ironically, I could wear the short sleeves in the winter. It's the only time I could do it. So And that's what the car's tinted too. Same reason. All right. If I put my arm up there for 5 minutes, I'm done. I have a piece of tint that I take with me because you can't tint the truck legally. So I actually have a piece that I just stick on the driver's window of the truck. I just stick it on there and I can just peel it right off for nighttime, especially too. I have to do it. Al, I just wanted a raincoat for my company. They gave me 6 uniforms. Nice. A fleece vest. Sweet. Winter jacket, raincoat, and a beanie. None of them have my name on it. But you're cool with that. Wow. They're handing out beanies too. That's pretty good. Nothing wrong with tattoos. Some of dispatchers have them. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Yeah, ink it up. That's what I say. Will Sarah England be there with 3 bunk trucks? Hey, last year I couldn't find their 3 bunk truck. And I asked them like, oh, well, we didn't bring a 3 bunk truck out here. I'm like, well, why not? It's wrong when tattoos are offensive to folks. Yeah, don't do the, what's his face? I can't think of a Manson kind of thing. But otherwise, yeah, right. No problem. Schneider is their own shop to buy shirts, jackets. Oh, sweet. Hey, you can get a jacket from us. Here's our shop. If anything, they should not profit on them. Let's put it that way. They should at least sell them at cost. They should profit on freight, not off of their drivers buying their products. So King Bob rocks his tattoos every day. You go. All right. 4 million miles at Sir England is $1 million. Sweet. He made his first $1 million 47 years later. Lease purchase at KLLM is great for owning a truck. I'm going to say no to that. There's way better ways to own a truck than purchasing the truck from a company. I've never been a fan of it, and I always think you should get the truck outside of a carrier. You were burned in February in trucking school in St. Louis. Right. You're outside 5 minutes in the middle of what other people would be winter, and you come in with a huge sunburn. It's crazy. I totally agree with you. And that's why year-round, I'm covered up. I have to be. And I put suntan lotion on my hands. My company just the end of my fingers because of the fingerless gloves. My company gave us a Carhartt hoodie for Christmas. Oh, nice. And a hiking backpack for Driver Appreciation Week. That's pretty good. For Driver Appreciation Week, the managers and stuff come in and make hot dogs and hamburgers on a grill. But they only do it for around 5 hours a day, 4 to 5 hours, and they leave by 2 p.m. So I never get any of it because they won't stay late. I'm like, why don't you stay late for the people that leave in the evening too? Oh yeah, well, that's really late. We gotta go. So I never get any of that. Awesome. UPS gave me a great winter coat, and I was just a seasonal driver. Oh, is that some kind of pun in there? Seasonal? Any word good or bad regarding Prime Inc.? I'm not a fan of Prime's training, Jerry. If you're going there to be trained, because in Prime, by their policy, after so many miles, this trainer sleeps and you drive. That is called team training there. I forget what they call it, TNT or something. And anyway, you're not being trained if the trainer is allowed to sleep. And I don't think they make their trainers get enough experience, as I don't think most places do. But the trainer should be up when you're driving. You can't train someone if you're asleep. It's the only industry really that allows it. You wouldn't allow it anywhere else. No matter where else you went to work, if the trainer went to sleep, you'd be like, well, you need to train me. And they're like, well, no, we're sleeping. So I don't like it. I don't like the whole deal like that. It was 28 and you got sunburned. Well, the snow, people don't realize that because they don't get sunburned like us apparently. But that snow, that sun reflecting off the snow, that's a huge problem. That is a huge problem for us. And so, yeah, I can get burned in that kind of thing. I totally see how you can get burned. You have to be covered up year round. People think it's crazy, but I can't do it. You can tint the side windows, but don't make them too dark. Well, it's not my truck, so I can't go get them tinted officially at a tinting place. And so I just bring a piece of window tint that I bought at AutoZone, like you're going to do it yourself and just slap it up there. It's not my truck. If I went to go tint the windows, and then the next thing I know, the truck will be gone or something, so I would have paid for that. So no way. I'm not paying to have it done like that. Climate Express is not a great company. I'll take your word for it. Fog in Oklahoma, about 3 mile visibility. That's not terrible, though. Get another CFI phone holder and give it away. Oh, man, I wonder if I could ask them to, get a case of these things. This isn't that quality. I'd say, can I give a case of these things away? Be sure, I love a good poke, right? Be sure to mention on the driver application. Also add Wiener into that. Been by the thing, Roger Penske never went to the museum. DQ in the summer numerous times, over 100. You need to see, I think it's $5 to see the thing. Maybe a little more, probably way worth it, right? Oh, God. GP Transco, last driver appreciation, we gave a $200 Amex gift card to our 20 safest drivers. We'll do something similar. Sweet. Sweet. That's why you carry it. Do you know my name? No, that's why we carry it. That's something, right? A $200 gift card, that's pretty nice. They only work till around 2 p.m. here giving out food because we can't expect the managers to stay very late, really. Did you see also that AB5 this week? This was all over everywhere. So a judge ruled and said, look, this AB5 is not going to apply to trucking. It's going to apply to everybody else but trucking. So if anybody's at Prime or Landstar, I'd love to know what they've done to... Have they said anything to you? Because those were the two big companies that sent letters out to their drivers telling them they had to move before January 1st. And I know some drivers did. Are you going to move back? What is going to happen? CAB5 right now is on hold from a judge that said, okay, trucking doesn't have to comply with the new rules. So unfortunately, many trucking companies will still be able to hose drivers into being independent contractors in California. It isn't so much the owner-operators in that, but the real problem is that many company drivers are misclassified as independent contractors, and especially in California at the ports and docks and stuff, and that shouldn't happen. That just shouldn't happen. So I'm curious if any of you got a letter from them, if they changed anything around. Red Monkey Trucking is here. Hello. Did I see your weather stream? I did see part of the weather stream. I thought about putting, is this Red Monkey Weather? RMW. So, Roger Penske, no test, never been in prison, never ran away with a circus. Well, you don't have to be in prison, certainly, or run away with the circus to get a tattoo, I don't think. That's Red Monkey Trucking started another channel for weather forecast. Really, what is it called? Tell me it's Red Monkey Weather. Landstar's on Death Watch, Alexander. No, Landstar's not on Death Watch. I don't have them on Death Watch. I have Roadrunner on Death Watch at the moment. And U.S. Express and USA Truck are kind of on the bubble with that. Remember, unions are bad now. Sign your lease paperwork and enjoy your automatic transmission covered at 65. Look, I've been a big fan of unions just so you can get paid for your time. I know there are several union drivers on here that are not as big a fan of unions as me. But I'm always curious at a company where drivers sit for hours for free, sometimes several hours a day for free, don't get paid for it, and then are like, unions are bad. They're not going to do me any good. Well, I don't understand that. You don't see too many yellow drivers, which has a 6% turnover, right, YRC, complaining that they don't get paid for their time. You don't see them complaining, we're not getting paid for our time. You should get paid for your time. Roy Gmail is here. I'm here, a new guy. All right. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I normally start at 1 p.m. Just so you know, for new people, I had to be early because my company changed my times around for a couple of weeks. And so I'll be back to normal next week. How much experience do you need to work at GP Transco? I'm going to say 1 year on that. That's what you're thinking, Roadrunner? Yeah, Roadrunner, I mean, oh my gosh. They are selling everything. They're selling parts of their company off. They laid drivers off this year, which is very unusual. So they laid off like 400 drivers last year now, I guess, because it's a new year. Have to put that on my checks if I wrote any. But they lay people off, and I think it's a real problem. It would bother me enough where I wouldn't work there. It would be enough bother for me to think, I need to get out of here because you don't want to be scrambling at the last second. Big Nate Jobber. I recently applied for Christensen Transport out of Missouri. Starting at 43 cents, they claim that's the highest paid trucking company out there. Oh, really? Oh, I'd say, have you guys called anybody? There's tons of companies that pay 43 cents. That's not the lowest pay out there. I would say they could say that. Unions uphold the middle class and make America strong. Yeah, you get paid for your time. Your insurance at YRC is free. And you have somewhere to go where the company can't just go, you're fired. It always just amazes me the drivers that don't like it are the ones not being paid. oh, I'm sad for 3 days and I don't get paid. And would you ever think about starting a union? Oh, for unions, what are they going to do? Well, you're going to get paid. I'll tell you that. Columbia, George, your company gave the drivers a jacket and bib overalls and then a speech that said we get to use them for chaining up our trucks. They also give us beanies and nice flashlights. Well, I wonder if you use them to not chain up your trucks and see what happens. That's good, though. At least, look, anything they give you is great. Flashlight, right, beanie, I'll take it. Roy drove for Prime. What did you think about the training? Did you get trained at Prime, and what did you think about it? The channel is T Tucker WX. All right, I'll have to check that out. That's a complicated term for search. Certainly, if somebody was to look for that in search, what would they find? Think about that as like a YouTube insider kind of thing. Not a great name for search. I get paid for laying over. Last layover once $112 for 8 hours and one load. I was late on a pickup, and I think I got like $50 for that layover because overtime. Good. That's the way to do it. Right, I'm in. How much do you guys pay? GP Transco, there's for them. What if a drunk driver hit me? That shouldn't be any problem, right? It's not a reportable for you. I mean, meaning it's not a preventable for you. How about that? How about YRC being on the Deadpool? It seems like they have trouble turning a profit. They do. They don't. I will say this. You're right about that. They seem to have a problem making a lot of money, but they have a super low turnover rate. And the drivers there, I think we can agree to this. The drivers here probably get paid most of their time. So I think that's important. Most of the stuff that you do there, you get paid for, where you're doing that same stuff at other companies and not being paid. And it isn't just Yellow. I mean, any kind of union company. Holland or any of these places, Roadway, CF, any of these union places, no problem. I don't know if CF was union. I just parked next to GP Transco truck in South Carolina. What color is it? Daniel, 43 cents is not the highest even starting in the country. Yes, but I think what they meant to say is it's not the lowest pay in the country. I think that's what they could say. This is not the lowest pay. Wild Bill is not a union fan. I didn't think you were. I sat for 3 days. Rhino never got his $200 from GP Transco. I sat for 3 days in Louisville at the AAK refinery and heard gunfire. Sweet. Didn't get paid detention. Had to fight for it. Don't go to Louisville. Chicago is safer. Wow, really? I moved out of Chicago. When I first got my job at Economy Transport, Economy, 2 semis, I moved to Chicago on about 1800 North Whipple, which is off of North and Armitage, right up in that area. And that's where I lived. I have rented a room out for, it seems like $45 a week. A room. This lady had split up an apartment building, a 3-story apartment building, into rooms, like a rooming house, and I rented a room. And she told me, be sure to be home before dark, or get a ride home. And if you walk down the street, don't look at anybody on their porches. She said, just look straight ahead. That's what she told me. And I'm like, why? She goes, oh, because it's gangs around here. She goes, they'll kill you. Oh, I go, okay, that's great. I'll see if I can get a ride to work every day. 43 is only good for a newbie. I got 48 cents when I started. Prime, the pay is not bad there. That's the thing. I just don't like the training thing. The way they train, when they have people sleeping and you're learning, I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that's a way to train people. I think that's, if your kid did that at school and they came home and said, oh, today the teacher went to sleep. They gave us work and went to sleep. You'd never allow it. Any other job, you went to college and your instructor, the professor, goes to sleep, you wouldn't allow it. And so I don't think it should be done here. The trainer needs to be awake when you're driving. The channel is Trucker WX. We'll go active with it next week. Okay. All right. We'll see how it goes. I expect weather on the hour. How about that? When you use the term noob, you're a noob. Nice. Being the top 50% of fuel consumption among driver gets another penny. All in all, drivers get $78,000 to $88,000 a year at GP Transco. And that's gross, before benefits and everything. And I have information here for other people that want to contact them. That's the contact info for GP Transco right there. That is a teal truck. Do not tell them Mark said you're going to get a teal truck no matter what, as I know some people have said. I don't say that. They have some teal trucks. I don't assign trucks at GP Transco, just so you know. You may get one, you might not get one. All right, so people can take that to the bank. Working class looked like a baby in the middle of the hood. Oh, Cicero, nice. Next to Garfield in Chicago. Nobody messed with you. I used to have to get off coming back from Milwaukee on Cicero. Nah, I don't remember. I just don't remember. Too long ago. Somewhere near, maybe further south, 40th or 50th. Off the Eisenhower, I would get off at Western Avenue. I don't know what I'm talking about. It was not a great neighborhood. People would try to sell me watches and jewelry in the middle of the night. And there were women selling stuff, but they didn't seem to have a case or anything with them, so I don't know what they were selling. Not sure about that. How long does staff to stay out of GP Transco? Teamsters Union is the best representation you ever had. I think at least you get paid for your time, especially in a local job. I see a lot of these local places that don't pay for a lot of time. It doesn't make any sense. The issue is prime is they cut your miles and loads when you're a company driver to bait you into leasing. I've heard that from people. Of course, they say no. They say no, but they do want you to lease a truck there. You don't have to. They don't make you do it, but they would like you to. I have friends who lease at Prime and they run coast to coast nonstop. And really, the only way to make money, the payment there is really high, over $1,000 a week at Prime. It's over $1,200 depending on the truck a week. You have to get a student. That encourages you to get a student, and so you're really using people by teaming the student to pay off your truck, and you don't have any benefits. And I don't think you. Certainly a solo driver paying a $1,200 payment at Prime doesn't make any more than a company driver anywhere else, and they have no benefits. There's no way. Michael Dow's at Ballston Spa, New York. Just a white GP truck, not the teal one. Chris, 76. Exactly. Because they're not around. So you must be east of the Illinois-Indiana line. John Schneider, have I seen the 3-bunk trucks? I think it's England. Yes, a number of people have put videos out about those trucks because they have them. And did a video about them. I think it's horrible. It's like a sweatshop on wheels is how I would name the video. Sweatshop on wheels. It's terrible in there. There's no room for anything but people. It's just a truck full of people. Clown cars. The clowns at the circus are like, there's not even any room in there. When, 10 of them get out of a car and go, I would never go in there. It's crazy. That they do that to people, that it's even allowed on the road is just crazy. They wonder why they can't get drivers and that they quit all the time. Who would tolerate that kind of treatment? No, about Prime, they make most of their money through their employees paying them. Yeah, they have employees buy their trucks and stuff for them. Wild Bill has never seen a teal truck either. Odds a driver will not get one. They don't exist. You can't get one if they're not around. On YouTube, there's a tour of a 3-bunk truck from England. Yes, Michael, I've seen there's several people that have done a tour of the truck. You should all go watch it. I haven't. I think no, I don't know if I have it linked on there. I shouldn't say that. I thought it was linked on the website. I'm not sure. Those women had cases to sell a case of herpes. That might have been what they were selling. Yeah, because they didn't have any product in their hands or anything. So I don't know what they were doing out there. The gentleman that would come up to me had kind of like suitcases of watches, real Rolexes, and gold chains and stuff. When I'm ready to become an owner-operator, you're considering GP Transco. Not ready to make the move yet? Health comes first. Alexandra, take care of yourself first. We can get to the trucking later. And Indianapolis is some of the best places in the country for that. I'm sure those ladies in Chicago are just trying to sell a Hot Pocket. Yes, something to that effect. Did you work for Nova? You're hiring in Florida. GP doesn't hire in Florida. Some people... Cheers to be on that 3-4 truck. When I trained there, it was just me and my trainer. Got to pick the people close to be. Some people choose to be on those trucks. Yeah, they did say that you choose it, okay? They give you the option, 3-bunk or no, yes or no. So you get the option to be on the truck. You don't have to be on it. But people coming in the industry don't know the difference. And if you go on the 3-bunk truck, from the way I understand it, they require less hours of you in training. So they say, well, if you take this truck, you don't have to be in training as long. And so that encourages you to do it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, I don't even know why they're on the road. There's no way you're keeping people in those kind of trucks. You must work for JB Hunt. They do the same thing. Right. It's so crowded in the 3-bunk trunk, you have to get out to change your mind. It's crazy in there. It's all people. And so you add a person and take a bunch of storage out of the truck because the person is all that overhead storage. There's a bunk up there. Those are literally the only two states we don't hire of, Florida, Georgia, right? They go everywhere else but there. That's where all the teal trucks are parked, I think, waiting. Hey, Walt Wynn, what's going on? Could I live in another state? But you wouldn't get home. The problem is, I see what you're saying doing that, and I think the problem with doing that is they don't have freight that goes to those states, or they would hire from there, and so they have a tough time getting you back there, and that's a problem. You're going to want to eventually go home. Maybe not, but yeah. If I could go to GP Transco and decide I want to be an owner-op, would GP Transco finance a 389 Pete? All right, there's an interesting question. Those are Rolex watches. Oh, Rolex watches. Yeah, Rolex, XX, it said on them or something. Yeah. He didn't really specify. I'm sure they were real. I don't remember the price. This would have been in the 80s. I'm sure they were under $100. And I'm sure they were completely legitimate watches. They do not lease out Pete's at GP Transco, Freights, and Volvos. I wonder if they're teal. Can lease a Pete anywhere else and run it with GP Transco. That's not a bad idea. Red Monkey Trucking. I will do forecast and advisories for large vehicles, 18-wheelers, how about 18-wheel big rigs, box trucks, RVs, and other travelers. Split the map up in 8 sections to allow a person to identify their areas of travel. All right. Well, I think you should start a channel for, let's cut the country up into, say, 16 sections, start 16 channels, and every few minutes you start a show on the new channel for the new section. How about that? Plus, you need to go live every hour. 24 hours a day in bad weather, just like the Weather Channel. I'm in. The teal trucks change color if they get near Lafayette. As soon as they cross the Indiana-Illinois border, they must change to some different color because you see them here, but then in Indiana, they're different. You don't see these. You see they change it to a white Volvo because that's what I see running around here. I don't even know if it's a company truck, to be honest with you. It might be because it's usually going the other way. And I don't see these kind of trucks. I don't know what they do with them. So I said that, okay, automated trucks are also in the news for FMCSA. They said that they're going to leave safety of the automated trucks right now up to the manufacturers. So that's good news because manufacturers would never do anything that isn't safe, like Boeing. They're always all about safety and stuff like that, or like building like a Pinto, that kind of thing. So it's always about the safety of the end user, as we would say here, about the end user. So FMCSA has some new guidelines out for automated trucks, and they're going to leave safe operation right now up to the user, the developers of the vehicle. So Freightliner will be the one to determine if the truck is safe. Peterbilt will determine if the truck is safe for automated use, and they'll send that to the government and say, oh yes, we have determined that this truck is absolutely safe. It's the same way as Boeing and everything else. That's a great way to do it, right? Red Monkey Trucking, you're lazy. Hey, if you're going to do the weather, especially in the winter, I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for an entire country worth of weather broken up into 16 sections that goes live every few minutes in each new section. So we would know this section's at 08, this section's at 13, this section's at 18. And so then the section you're in, we know to tune in at that time for a 5-minute update. So we'll do 12 sections, 5 minutes each. That's 1 hour. And you just go all the way around the country like that. So I know, I'm in this section. So every time at 10 after, I have to go to this one or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Easy peasy. All truckers are lazy. Well, I don't try to work that hard. I will say that. These trucking companies love using drum brakes and no airbags in the doors or steering wheel. If the manufacturer's scared, fatality rates would be Look, Freightliner, Volvo, some trucks, they offer airbags. Companies don't buy them. Like Freightliner offers them, we don't get the airbags in the truck. I don't know if they're standard in Volvos. But, right, because they cost extra, companies don't buy them. We just got power windows in all the trucks. Maybe 4 years ago, the last truck with a crank driver's window went away. They get the cheapest fleet truck that they can get. And that's a lot of companies. What's the least you can do on the truck to make the truck for us, cheap? And then we'll buy X numbers of them. Not every company does that. Some of them do up-spec their trucks. But a lot of companies just go try to get the truck for the lowest prices possible, including no airbags and no disc brakes here. A lot of companies still not running discs. They're available. We don't run them here. Would I drive to Canada for $500? Yes. Gustavo, I have a PayPal. Please send the $500 and I'll meet you in Toronto tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, sure, I'll drive my car to Canada. Do you think this will raise the weight limit anytime soon to increase the amount of freight moved? No, I don't think so. I don't see that happening nationwide yet. No. You're passing metaphor right now. Really? Did I put that up there and somebody's out there? This is metaphor for people that don't know. The actual artist name of this, the Balls of Utah. What is it called? Oh, the Tree of Utah. Right. The Tree of Utah. I don't know. Okay. It's actually called metaphor. So that's where that went off to. Yikes. Okay, so that is where that yikes. That's where that went off to. Right, there's that. I can't believe that you're going by it. Will you be stopping there to admire it, to gaze upon its round glory? You should be paid extra for crossing border to Canada. We pay $175 for the border. I would check with your carrier and see if they did. I didn't know you went to Canada, GP Transco, so that's pretty interesting. Is that mandated? People are going to ask that. So is it mandatory that people cross the border to Canada at GP Transco? I don't care if it is. I'm just wondering. My company changed to better medical insurance. That's good. But they failed to inform us and canceled the cards and sent us new ones in the mail. So how do they do that? They must have changed it December 31st. So that must be how they do it. They should let you know so that, especially if you change doctors or whatever, if the new doctor's not on the new plan, that's crazy. My wife, uses it a lot. So I'd be pretty upset about that. I wish companies cared more about survivability and profit. It's disgusting. I agree with you, but it's all, and that's every company and really everything. That's all profit, right? Paid across the border, James Fowles. Some companies do. it. Disc brakes are awesome. They increase safety, reduce maintenance. Oh, your trucks and trailers have them. The trailers get self-inflators. I've seen the self-inflators. I've got them on the truck. Some of the trailers I get have them. Pretty nice. The light goes on, then it goes back out. You get a low tire. I'm like, I'll just hook that up and I can inflate it. Agree. Disc brakes, it seems like it's easier to do maintenance on them, right? I can do disc brakes on a car, but drums, I don't do it, right? I would take that in. So it seems like, and there's signs on the back of the trucks, on some of them if you've seen them. Caution, this vehicle uses disc brakes. It's going to stop faster. They tell people that to back off. So I agree. Discs. Let's do discs. Okay, this is a good question for GP. Do they cost more? Is there an increased cost? I've never bought a semi, new or used. Does it cost more to order disc brakes on the truck and trailer? Red Mucking Trucking, we didn't know Laura needed medication and ended up paying full price of $180. Then they said, we sent them in the mail. We forgot to tell you. See, that's the kind of thing. That kind of thing is aggravating. And they wouldn't want that to happen to them. And it's not just because of where you are there, right? All companies should be on top of this. Some people need medication and use it a lot. And then you get hosed. You think you're going to pay $10 or $20 or whatever. And they're like, you don't have any insurance. I'd go back to them on this new policy and say, hey, somebody needs to reimburse me because presumably they took your insurance charge out every week. So I would call HR at your place, right, who deals with that kind of thing, and see about getting the difference refunded to you. It's not right. It's a GP run to Alaska if the money is right. Oh, interesting. Hard to get out of there probably. Working class disc brakes are magical. You run tankers and even with surge, they stop you quickly. But that's not great, right? It took balls to build that monument at Utah. Yeah, some are broken up on the ground. Some trailers you pick up have them. Yeah, I haven't had any on the trailers yet. I always look for them. I wish, that I could get them. And it's time to see Gracie, see what she's up to. Where'd she go off here? Oh, on the tree, right. This is what she thinks about disc brakes when they stop quickly. Not impressed because it wakes her up. So she wouldn't like that very much, certainly. And I went over there. All right. Last question. Could GP Transco, could you help me get out of Florida or Georgia? Yeah, just move. The Princess of Dixie Hill. I did the Alcan in Honda Civic, and it was early season. Saw 2 trucks the whole way. Nice. Did you have to, how many tires did you go through? Did it make it all the way up there? Alexander's playing Madden right now. Starting RB was injured, and I'm running it down Detroit's throat. All right, you tell him. I'm waiting for a call back from HR. Good, because that's not right. Look, that's just, That's just not right. If you paid every week or however often they take it out, you should have coverage the whole time. They don't get to like say you don't have coverage for a few weeks because they're late in mailing it out, right? They should pay you the difference of what you should have got, certainly. GP Transco, the cost is higher for initial purchase. All right, when getting disc brakes, but it's made up due to savings and maintenance and safety. I think it's for safety, certainly. It's a small investment that easily pays off. Okay, so in maintenance, they're easier to do, right? And safety, the companies should be concerned about. They talk a good game about it, right? But not everybody does everything about it. So in the end, they cost less money. Because really, what I tell everybody, not just work, the cheap comes out expensive. Don't buy all cheap stuff. That comes out, it costs you more money anyway. Had someone brake check you in New York and had discs when he attempted to buy truck. All right, at least you got to be able to stop. Red Monkey Trucking dogs rule? Yeah, I don't think so. Can your dog do this? I doubt it. I certainly doubt it. So there. That'll teach you. And when you come over to my house when it's 20 below. I think we saw 21 below last year. And see if you want a dog or a cat. Certainly. How about that? Yikes. Nobody got hurt. If so, you run cameras in your truck. Everybody should always run a dash cam no matter what of your own. You implore everyone reading this to run a dash cam. Yes, it could at one time your whole career well worth the investment. I don't know how long they last. These ones I have are still working fine. GP Transco posts a Driver of the Month award. All right, in December on Facebook. Feel free to congratulate Rodney Inglesman, who just got an award in the mail at $200. Nice. He can embroider that on his jacket too. Like dogs and cats and toilets cut in half squares. That's not great, right? That's like at the restaurant down there. So, yeah, but at 20 below zero, this is what you want. Getting that leash out at 20 below zero, not great. I see people here do it. That wouldn't be for me to do. Vance $1.97 up 2 cents. Flats $2.17 even, right? And reefers $2.35 up 5 cents. And weather today, to start off Red Monkey Trucking, weather today, you'll find it lovely today and 40 degrees. Partly sunny. We expect 50s this week with rain Friday night into Saturday. No snow expected in Lafayette for the next 5 days. Jeff, off to you. Oh, sorry, I threw it off to the newsman. I clean out a box of poop. I think cats rule. Yeah, it's much simpler. I have 3 here. I always tell people if you just get one more box than you have cats and clean them a couple of times a day at least, change the litter all the time, you won't have any problems with, cats smell. They do not smell. They smell because you don't keep them clean. You don't keep their litter boxes clean. The cat keeps itself clean. They love being clean. For the 25 minutes that the cat's awake every day, 20 of it she cleans herself. They start CDO school on January 20th. Congratulations, Corey. Can you recommend good companies near Connecticut that take people right out of school? Wow. Who's in the Northeast that takes people? That is going to be a tough one. Princess of Dixie Hill got tickets to the truck show. See, they're all right. I hope everybody go get your tickets and say hello. Stop by and say hi at the truck show. Be out wandering around. I don't know how I'll keep people informed. Maybe Instagram. I guess I could do stories on YouTube. You'd have to let me know how we want to do this. To where I am, it's a huge place. So we'll figure something out for that as we get closer to it. Regarding cats, we had a driver drives with a cat who hurt her back, went over the road and debating how to go about going to the hospital because the cat that she drives would be left alone. That's a problem. But there are organizations, I'd call the local humane society or a local cat rescue to go get the cat. So there are places like here. Like I volunteer at Lori's Kitty Rescue, which is here in Lafayette. I do some stuff on the weekends. I'll go pick animals up and drive them around, whatever she needs. Sometimes that's where I got my cats from. Anyhow, if somebody found that organization called, we'd do something. A local rescue, not like the National Humane Society, but some local rescue would help out. They'd do something, and then Operation Roger would probably get the cat back to its house or wherever it belongs. Like I'd be willing to, take a cat. Like I had Bridget here. This is not my cat, right? We had Bridgie here for a couple of months. Well, a lady that Lori, who runs the rescue, went on a mission trip to Turkey. So I watched her cat for her. There are people that are willing to do this. So, and I'm sure they would do this for a dog as well. There's ways to do it. I don't think, living a whole life or whatever without an animal because there's a few minutes that you can't figure out. I don't know if that's great or not. You can get it figured out. Where I have a card in my wallet that says, hey, I got a cat. So there's always that. There's ways to do this. So like I'm unconscious and we're taken to the hospital in town here, they know because they're going to go through your wallet. Hey, this person has a cat. Call this number. And so then there's an emergency number so somebody can come and take care of the cat. Columbia, Georgia, my company's union. I get paid for all my time and I get time and a half. By the way, my cat has health insurance too. I pay for health insurance for the cat. So there you go. For overtime, and I get double time for Sundays. Nice. $5 per hour put in the pension. So you get a pension, right? Exactly. Your insurance, probably free or very inexpensive, right? It's just your union dues. That's usually how they work it. But look, you're going to get paid for all of your time at a union. People can say what they want. They take your money. You end up paying less money to your pension and your insurance than you do just paying health insurance at a different company. Working class 2 cats kick litter everywhere. They kick litter around, but they're each of the litter boxes, depending where they are, they're sitting on a pad so they can scratch their nails. The ones in the back bedroom, they're on like a welcome mat that you get for your front door. I put them on that. So the litter goes on that, and I can just take that and dump it out. And if you do that every day, don't let it fill up with litter or whatever, you don't have any problem. It's a few minutes of investment into your cat. Alexander, I have 2 cats. The bigger one is 30 pounds. He's a big furball. Wow. That's a gigantic cat. Gracie here's 19 pounds. And so she's big as it is. She's not impressed with your 30-pound cat. How about that? But she's pretty big. Let's see. So we can get her on this one. Right. So she's big anyway. 19 pounds. She will consider 30 pounds as big. The cat I had before this, a tortoiseshell cat, was about 22 pounds or whatever. She got really big too. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Chatty Cathy, how long is this show? Hey, getting ready to get off of there. So there. Have you ever heard of 011 Logistics? I will tell you that name sounds like a company that is located in Chicago and is 1099. I don't know that's the case, but is it true? Full transparency, my pal who leases a 2020 International from Prime told me his weekly expenses are like $2,400 a week. Oh my God, that's crazy. He must be training. But that's crazy. $2,400. Now there's some owner operators on here right now. Can you imagine paying $2,400 a week in expenses for your truck? Just to own a truck. Is that, can you make any money? So at the current rate, which I see reefer is $235 average, you're going to make $5,000. $2,400 of it is your truck already. Half the money's gone in your truck. Crazy. And that's if you're rolling. You got to really roll it. So, holy moly. $2 would be 40 some, and yeah, you'd be left with 2 taxes, insurance. You net $1,000. That's the same as a congratulations. It's the same as a company driver. Google trucking companies near you and start your research there. Yeah, Connecticut is a tough one. When I switch from tanker to reefer driver on a flatbed, I'm taking my dog with me. The surge will physically throw you against the steering wheel if you brake too hard. Nice. Yeah, that's true. My cats help me get through medical issues. Love the cats. Absolutely. Who's less, who doesn't care about anything else but you except an animal, a cat, or certainly a dog, but certainly. Run Monkey Trucking, your dog's a service animal, so you can go everywhere. I don't need him a lot because of how much he helped me adjust to crowded situations. He's an amazing dog. Well, get a service cat. That's what I say. That's what I'm saying. Look, I've seen the dog. He's not in your videos enough. I think he should do the weather. At least 3 of the sections of the 12 sections that you're going to do, the dog ought to do. I like him. I like dogs too, all right, but I'm just a cat person. So he's solo at $2,400 a week for this truck. This guy, and there's no way he can go home, working class. No way he can go home. That's the thing. You may think he's making more money. Like where I've been here a long time. So I always tell drivers I have 5 weeks of vacation to owner-operators like this Prime driver. So he'd have to take 5 weeks a year off. But I get paid for that. So he's got to pay himself for that time. He'd have to buy health insurance for the whole 12 months, pay all of his taxes and everything for that time, get his holidays paid, be off on the weekends. There's no way he makes more than a good company driver. No way. No, all he's doing is buying himself a truck. Congratulations. I have things to do after the show. I thought this was a shortened version. I'm sorry, Wild Bill. It's a regular time, just run a little bit early. And we will be back to normal time next week. Texas Trader, yeah, so much for taking a vacation. Yeah, you're never seeing your house. Do that because you'll get so far behind. Prime's lease is a 3-year rental. They award 30,000 to people who make it through their meat grinder. Congratulations to 4 people. But for 3 years, you've lived in the truck, worked for the truck. Forget it. You're in no way are you ahead at all of a company driver. The second episode, The Story of Drivers. Oh, good. The first one was really good. This is GP Transco. It's about one of our best owner-operators. He started out as an owner-operator. You need to have $20,000 in savings for truck expenses at all times. I agree. You can't just start out with $12 as an owner-operator. You never know what's going to happen. So I'll be interested to watch that. Michael Muller, what's vacation? Oh, that's what you get all the time. You take it off. Oh, you're forever off. Holidays, vacation, everything. He never goes home. Yeah, so working class. So here's the thing. Does he think he does better than a company driver? I'm at home right now. Okay, is he end up making more than me at the end of the week? Probably not. It's probably not. I like dogs, but I wouldn't eat one. Well, if anyone knows the companies that run Northeast, especially north of Seattle, make me local. Well, there are local companies. I know Doug Andrews is up there. I don't know. They run the Northwest. There's also Central Oregon Truck. If you have experience, Central Oregon Truck is up there in the Northwest. Give them a call. They're in Oregon, but they run the Northwest. Does he need a nap? Does Bill need a yikes? Yeah, he's all grumpy today. Did Prime up their rates like $7 a mile? Well, I guess Cash is King, right? If it was $7 a mile, I guess it would make it. But there's no way that Prime hauls for, say, twice what you haul for, because they would just give the freight to you, right? So they're going to have to be competitive in the market on their rates, certainly. If I had enough money to be an owner-operator, you would invest in something other than truck driving. Kind of like the Groucho Marx theory of I would never want to be a member of a company of a club that would have me as a member. Ask any owner-operators bowling averages. What? I'm out. Cash is King is taking off. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'll be headed out with you momentarily. Late to the party. Yeah, because the party started early today. That's the thing. Market Express is in the Pacific Northwest. That would be another company up there. Market Express. I just haven't talked about Central Oregon Truck, but that's a good one out that hauls northwest, if that's where you live. North of Seattle has Brown Line out of Mount Vernon. Oh, Brown Line. Is that another? That must be another company up there, right? Don't forget about Blue Parrot, of course. If you wear it, make it a parrot naturally. And I don't talk about Jay enough, right? He's really good for auto. Some people ask me about auto stuff. I send them over to Jay, 8 p.m. live. Central, 8 p.m. live Central right here. GP Transco's information is right here. To talk to GP Transco, give them a call. You got a year experience? Give them a call. You might get a teal truck. You might not. Don't tell them Mark's giving you a teal truck. Like some people are saying. What the heck is that? Mark never said that. How better to work company driver? Look, Russ, I'm a company driver, and so that's what I like. It depends what you like. You know, I'm not a fan of the churn of being an owner-operator without benefits. Being in my extreme upper 30s, we use a lot of the health insurance, which is very expensive. And I don't think after you buy health insurance, pay for a vacation, pay for paid holidays, get weekends off, and all that stuff, I don't think you make any more than a company driver if you factored all those things into it. People don't factor that into it. Oh, well, they make more a week. Maybe. But I'm off a lot of the time. You know, I work probably 200 days a year. So for an owner-operator to work those kind of days and make a company driver, you probably can't do it. So it just depends what you want to do, though. If you're willing to stay out in the truck, maybe you want to be an owner-operator. King Bob is headed out. He's got to roll. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Send a picture of the truck. I'd love to see it. Kay Wayne is being safe. I appreciate that. Thank you. And we are going to head out of here, too. Alexandra. They haul reefer. I think they, let's see, their trucks don't show it, though. We should get that picture in there, right? So what else did I have here? Oh, I also want to put this out there every week. Look, if you need this number, write it down. Write it down. 24/7, no obligation. You can be anonymous. If you know someone that needs it, write it down or call the number and say, what should I do? I think somebody needs this number. So it may save your life for somebody else, right? So Don't forget about Matt's. Sign up for Matt's. I want to see everybody at Matt's. Matt's, I got to see you there in Louisville. I got some prices here too, a fuel price. I love it. Always got the diesel price at the 76, $1.36.9. Shouldn't have any problem at Prime making some money. For $1.36.9 fuel, $2,400 a week. I mean, that's crazy money. GP Transco rocks. If you're highly experienced and know how to manage money and book loads or work under a good company, it's hard work as an owner-operator. I agree. It's not for everybody. It's not for me. It might be for you. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it isn't for me. It's all individual. That a lot of people on here are owner-operators, make it work, and more power to them. Go follow like Cash is King Truck and go watch their channel. See about being an owner-operator, right? It's not for me. Favorite Groucho quote? Well, you never with that attitude. Boy, I love Groucho too. A job I applied to regional, taking home 2 to 3 times a week, 1,600, 1,700 gross. That's pretty good, right? The Hyundai guy is there. All right. You're from Louisville. You'll be going. All right. There won't be too many Hyundais there to look at, but we can talk about the new N line over at Hyundai. That'd be great. So I do have to scoot out of here and make my company some money, of course. GP Transco, thanks for coming in and answering people's questions and tolerating our craziness every week. I appreciate it. And we're going to go, at least I'm going to go watch your new videos and stuff. Red Monkey Trucking, thanks for being here. I expect to see some 12 weather. I think that's a great idea. If you want to talk to me about it, we can work out how that might work. 12, just start 12 separate channels, one every 5 minutes. You go live every 5 minutes, each channel 24/7. Sounds pretty simple. I know with the 2 of you in the truck, I know you can make it happen. Expect to see that start at noon tomorrow. James Faust, it was good to see you here. Well, Bill, I hope you get a good nap. Thanks for coming in. We'll be back normal time, by the way, next week, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. I got all that straightened out at work. Working class, it was good to see you here. Kay Wayne. Alexandra, it is good to see you here and rolling out there and waiting for you to move to the Hoosier State. Welcome and good luck on the license plate there. Gustavo, thank you for being here. John Schneider, it's good to see you. Ryan, oh, right. Oh, there's somebody else we can check out for some owner-operator information. Roy Gmail, truckers are not necessarily lazy, yikes. But some of us are. I am, I'll admit to it. Oh, Walt, it's good to see you. Mark Randall, hey, what's going on? Larry, some people are here. It's good to see you. And where am I going right there? Oh, right. There I go. Tommy Reed, it's good to have you in here. I wish I could get everybody. I should write everybody down, but I can't. There's hundreds of people. Daniel Wood, thank you for coming in. Roy Gmail. There we go. Big Nate Jobber, it's good to see you here. So I do have to head out to my company. And Nomad Trucker was here first today, of course. So there's that over there. And we're, of course, going to be at the truck show. Get your tickets. But the company demands that you come in. Otherwise, they get super mad at you. So, but we'll be back at 1 p.m. normal time next week. Otherwise, I'm going to head out. Thanks for being here. And everybody, be safe on the road. It's winter. Hey, it's nice here, but Red Monkey Trucking is going to be giving us the live weather every 5 minutes around the clock. That's going to be great. I hope everybody watches it so we know exactly what the weather's going to be right where we are. And I will see you all next Monday.